You're listening to a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.
Hey, this is Katie Samanza, redshirt freshman quarterback for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
You are listening live from Schumann Stadium, where the Ball State Cardinals make their home conference debut against the Western Michigan Broncos. Good afternoon. I'm Brayden Carroll. Sam Neiger alongside Dom Liacone and Ryan Stojetz will be on the call awaiting kickoff of today's matchup, which we're just about 30 minutes away from right now. Sam, today's a big day for Ball State. 5-3 is the mark the rest of the way to bowl eligibility for Ball State. And this is one of those games on paper the Cardinals are matched up well for.
It kind of feels like a must-win for both sides, Brayden, which is makes it for a ton of fun. Both teams sitting at 1-3 at the moment. Neither squad has an FBS win yet. Both teams played some tough non-conference schedules. We know the woes from the past 3 games for Ball State. Blowout losses against Miami, blowout loss against James Madison, and then they had a close loss against Central Michigan. But for Western Michigan, they've played some tough competition as well. They got blown out by Ohio State. They lost to Wisconsin on the road to open the season. Their only win on the year is against Beth and Cookman. So really, with both teams sitting at 1-3, 2-3 looks a lot better than 1-4. So this is a must-win for both squads, which is great as we start to get into the thick of MAC play.
And you mentioned those road games for Ball State. It was a tough road trip for this squad. A 3-point loss to Central Michigan cushioned in between those Miami and JMU losses. The loss to the Hurricanes, Ball State's biggest loss since 2000. The loss to the Dukes, their biggest group of 5 loss in the 21st century. The big question, what's been holding the Cardinal offense back?
Look, obviously there's not a lot to write home about over those 2 losses, but I think you do have to put asterisks next to that Ball State, or next to the Miami and next to the James Madison game. Obviously, Miami is a top 10 team in the country. That's a squad that looks really good. They've got a Heisman contender in Cam Ward at the quarterback position. Then you look at James Madison. Maybe we didn't expect to get blown out quite how we did, but in hindsight, James Madison is one of the best group of 5 programs in the country over the past couple of years, right? Over the past decade, that's been the team to beat, and they proved this year that they're no different than they have been in years past. So, in all honesty, yes, perhaps Ball State would have liked a better offensive performance against the Dukes last week, only 7 points, but I think they have to be focusing more specifically on the Central Michigan game, that game that was sandwiched in between those 2 bad losses, because that was a 1-score game. Ball State had a chance to win with 40 seconds to go, and they gave up a last-minute touchdown against Central Michigan. So, in hindsight, maybe Ball State isn't as happy with coming away from that road trip 0-3, but certainly they got it done and had their best offensive day against the team that it mattered the most against, and I think that's going to hold true against Western Michigan and the rest of this MAC schedule.
And that's what you want to see if you're a Ball State fan, the offense working against MAC opponents. But you look on the defensive end, this team has allowed over 520 yards in 3 straight games, and that includes that Central Michigan game.
It does.
Having played some great offenses in Miami and JMU, what can the Cardinals take from those games to improve in MAC play?
Well, I think this team has to understand first and foremost that their biggest weak point is stopping the run, and that's not necessarily a great matchup against Western Michigan, which is a team that has really a 3-pronged attack when it comes to running the football. Jaden Nixon over the past couple of weeks has been an animal. Over 100 yards on the ground in the past 2 games against Beth and Cookman and against Marshall. Zahir Abdus-Salam has put up a solid performance as a backup runner as well. And we still have a game time decision to make about Jalen Buckley, whether or not he will play his first game since the season opener when he got injured against Wisconsin. So Western Michigan has the ability to have a 3-pronged attack running the football, and this is a Ball State team that cannot stop the run at all. So they're going to have to get gritty. They're going to have to get down and dirty. They're going to need to set the tone in the trenches and stop Western Michigan from running the ball early. If they're able to do that, this defense is going to start to gain a little confidence, and I think they have the ability to have a big day.
And, we're talking about some drawbacks for this Ball State squad, but you look at one positive on this team, the performance of junior tight end Tanner Koziel. 29 receptions, 289 receiving yards. That's good for 3rd in the nation among tight ends. We're getting to that point in his development where NFL scouts are absolutely chomping at the bit to get him on a roster.
And I don't think enough people are talking about him. 3rd in the country, when you look at those statistics, he's going to be one of the best tight ends in the country next year. Credit to him for sticking with the Cardinal and white. He had the opportunity to transfer. He wanted to see it through here in Muncie. He's a local guy. He's from the state of Indiana. So this university, this team, this group of guys, it means a lot to him. And when he's putting up numbers like he is, and on a team that's struggled as much as Ball State has, that's going to start to raise some eyebrows around the NFL scouting departments, because they're going to want to see, well, if this kid's on a 1-3 team and is the third best tight end in the country as just a junior, what's he going to look like at the NFL level when he's got a bunch of other stars around him? I think this is a Tanner Koziel who is probably going to stick around for another year. Don't quote me on that. I wouldn't necessarily think he wants to rush into the draft when he can maybe build his stock a little bit through his junior and senior year. But this is a guy that has the ability, and I think will one day in the near future play on Sundays.
Taking a look at a bigger picture of the conference now, most teams played their first conference game last week. So you take a look at the preseason poll, things look much different than we anticipated right now. Bowling Green tied for third in the poll. They look like the team to beat in the MAC with how they performed against some power conference opponents. Toledo, they're at second place. They're playing as billed. Big win against Mississippi State.
Oh, yeah.
But the big question is Miami in that first place spot. They had 9 first place votes, 119 points overall, but they've had a very sluggish offense to start off the season.
You know, the Red Hawks were the MAC champions last year. I think everybody expected them to come in and put up a performance that was almost even a repeat of last year. We saw it in the reflection in the preseason poll, but this is a team that's kind of underperformed. And let's be honest, they had a tough non-conference schedule like a lot of Mid-American Conference teams. 3 of their first 4 games were against power conference opponents. Maybe the offense didn't necessarily live up to the hype that we thought they would. The most points that they had put up through 3 weeks was 16 against Cincinnati. That was at home, a real old-school rivalry. But when you're playing a gritty game against Northwestern, 13-6 was the final of that game. Then you're playing a top 25 team against Notre Dame. You lose 28-3. You hate to say that it's expected, but that is what's expected when a Group of 5 team plays a Power 5 team. Now, what was a real kick in the face for the Red Hawks was last week's matchup against UMass at home. They went to overtime against the Minutemen, and I think the offense was expected to put up more than 23 points. So that was probably a rude awakening for the Red Hawks, and it came at a good time because now they've got Toledo on the road. It's a rematch of a really important MAC game from last year. So whether or not Miami is going to be up to the task is one thing. I think if this game were played 3 or 4 weeks down the road, Miami would have a little time to get in their rhythm on the offensive side. But I think this game being played when it is definitely plays an advantage to Toledo because I don't think Miami is just quite ready yet.
It's going to be a big game down there in the Glass Bowl, and it's going to pave a big picture of what the MAC conference is going to look like. Those teams 1 and 2 in the preseason polls, a lot of people expected them to be at the end of the season in Detroit, Michigan for the MAC championship.
Right.
What are you expecting out of that game?
Well, I expect Toledo to perform as they have all season. You mentioned it. It was the biggest upset in the Mid-American Conference so far this year, except for the Northern Illinois over Notre Dame game. It was the win of Toledo over Mississippi State in Starkville. That was a big deal to that team. This is a team that knows how to compete with some of the best teams in the country. They know what it's like to win MAC championships. Over the past couple of decades, Toledo has been kind of la creme de la creme when it comes to Mid-American Conference programs. So I don't think that's necessarily going to change this year. They're going to be ready for this game at home. You know, it's MAC football. Every game you go into, you got a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. You're kind of rivals with everybody. You don't really like any of the teams you play. That's especially the case this week against Miami, 2 teams from the state of Ohio. So I think Toledo is going to be better prepared for that game. I don't think Miami has quite gotten the juices flowing where they want to. They don't have that rhythm. They don't have that chemistry that maybe we expected at this point. And for those reasons, I think Toledo is just better prepared for this game, and I think they're going to come away with the win at home.
Love to see some high-gear MACtion early in the season here. We're going to take a quick break here on the Ball State football pregame show. This is SL Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Power to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State Sports with SportsLink Digital.
Hey, this is Tanner Koziel, junior tight end here with Ball State Football. Thanks for tuning in to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. This is your home for all things Ball State football.
Welcome back to Muncie, Indiana. This is the Ball State Football pregame show on SL Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. I'm Brayden, Carroll, Sam Neiger alongside. And Sam, you had the chance to catch up with Coach Mike New earlier this week ahead of this matchup. Let's take a listen into that conversation.
Coach, obviously a tough loss this weekend against James Madison. What's been your message to the team in terms of putting that game behind you?
I think most importantly, just don't stop believing, man. Stay by each other's side. We got a lot of football left to be played. Now we're turning our attention back to playing in conference against Western Michigan. So we can't let that linger on, and I really feel confident that our guys will respond. I know it's all about making sure we have a great week of preparation here. We can't change that outcome, but we got to make sure that we keep believing, keep attacking it, and I feel confident we got a lot of good football ahead of us.
And you are getting into the heart of MAC play now, so how has that message and how does that mentality shift as you head into a game like Western Michigan?
Well, it also helps too, not only coming from me, but some of our veteran players that have been in this conference, and they know what it's like. It's a wide open race. Obviously once MAC teams finish their non-conference schedule, there's really good football in this conference week in, week out, and so the goal for us is to make sure we got our best stuff. We got our A game week in, week out, because that's what's most important in order to put yourself in a position to win each and every week.
And this has been a Western Michigan team that's played not only a solid non-conference schedule, but they also perform pretty well. What's one thing that's jumped off the page at you about this Broncos squad?
Well, they're going to be tough. They're going to play well. They're going to give you great effort. They're going to be physical. They want to do a great job of establishing the run game. They've been awesome at that the last two games they've had. They're going to be one of those teams that challenges you. They're going to do a good job of trying to devote their attention to stopping the run. So for us, we got to have a great plan in place. It's a challenge on our end too. We got to be great at stopping the run defensively. We got to be great on our end of getting the run game established. So they're going to be hungry. They're going to come in here, and obviously this is Coach Taylor's second full year there now. Western Michigan, he's done a really good job. Obviously, like all teams in the MAC, we've all had some guys that we lost to the portal, but we've also all been able to add some key pieces. So it's going to be a team that, especially after the last 2 weeks watching them on tape, we're going to have to make sure we execute at a high level.
In terms of actually stopping the run against the Broncos this weekend, I know it was a bit of a tougher tackling weekend against James Madison. How does the team flip the script on that heading into Western Michigan?
I think most importantly, again, it sounds like a simple answer and message, but it really comes down to each guy doing his job, man, because when we have 11 guys executing at a high level, there's some awesome stuff on tape. That's my job, is to make sure I show that to our guys this week, and the proof is in the pudding, man, when each guy does that and he does his job, and it's great to watch the execution at a high level, and we can get that done, and that's my job, to make sure that I get that focus where it needs to be, and make sure our guys respond.
I want to turn the focus to the offensive side of the ball now. Caden Samanza had looked really impressive so far this season. He made some extra mistakes against James Madison, though. What was your message specifically to him after that performance last week?
Oh, listen, those things happen. Here's a redshirt freshman quarterback. Obviously that first throw was just off the fingertips, and so, when turnovers happen, it's tough to be able to overcome those and win games. He knows that. He's his own worst critic. Obviously he could tell you exactly what he was seeing, even when he came back between series and watched the iPad there with Coach Lynch. So it's really just a matter of getting back to work. That's not going to have an impact on him. He's tough. He's mentally tough. So he'll come back and respond. And, I fully expect him to have his best week.
We're back in the shoe for just the second time this season. It is family weekend. What do you expect the atmosphere to be like? I know there was a great crowd week one.
Yeah, we need that. And obviously I want our fans to keep believing and not to give up hope, and we can have a great year here. Obviously the story isn't written yet, so there's a lot of football left to be played. It's awesome to be able to come back here at home, and we need them. We need a great environment here for our guys to feed off of and get the energy where it needs to be.
Yeah, we saw it against Central Michigan. It seems like every time you play a MAC opponent, it's always going to come right down to the wire. What's going to be the key to get your team over the hump if we do see a close game late?
Playing 60 minutes. That's the most important thing. We got to play 60 minutes, have great football, the best that we got, and go execute at a high level and make sure our guys are bought into it. Very confident our guys will respond to that. It all starts with what we do on the practice field this week, and our guys are ready to get back out there.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
And we heard Coach talk about how this team maintains its belief. As we said earlier, 5-3, that's the mark needed the rest of the way to make a bowl game for this squad. And whether fans are disappointed in the start of the season or not, you have to admit that's doable for this team.
It really is, Brayden, and I'll tell you why. Because the Mid-American Conference, I know it's cliche, but especially when it comes to MAC play, any team can win on any given day. I think back to a game here at the Shoe last year against a heavily favored Toledo team in the rain. You know, that Toledo team eventually went on to the Mid-American Conference Championship, but Ball State played them to one score when they were expected to lose by 2, maybe even 3 scores. That's just the way the MAC rolls. There's never going to be a blowout in the Mid-American Conference. I mean, knock on wood, we'd like to see a good game today either way. But we saw it against Central Michigan with the late giveaway from Ball State, giving up that last-second touchdown to let the Chippewas win at home. I just think every time Ball State takes the field against a Mid-American Conference opponent, they're going to give themselves a chance. And I think the belief that Mike New has is also the belief that this team has, and it's going to start today against Western Michigan.
And when we listened to Coach talk about Caden Samanza, he made a great point that he's just a freshman. He looks great outside of last week's loss. What needs to change on the field for Samanza to have a better game than last week?
Well, it is pretty mind-boggling that he is just a redshirt freshman. I think we put a lot of pressure on this kid just because of how good he is. But it is, you know, sometimes you have to remind yourself that he is as young as he is. I think this week you're playing a Western Michigan defense that isn't as athletic as the Dukes of James Madison last week. I mean, there was pressure in his face really from start to finish. You know, these cornerbacks for James Madison were making unbelievable athletic plays. I think of the first interception that he threw. The cornerback tipped it up to himself, dove for it, and caught his own tipped ball. You're not going to see that against Western Michigan unless we get some kind of freak play. There were just some unreal athletes on the defensive side of the ball for James Madison. I think Caden Samanza is going to have a little more time to breathe in the pocket. He's going to get to go through his progressions, and if he's able to do that, get into a rhythm, get comfortable early, I think he's going to have a big day, especially with the weapons that he's got at his disposal.
The Pride of Mid-America marching band serenading in the background. It's game day here in Muncie, Indiana. We'll take another short break here on the Ball State football pregame show, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. This is SL Digital. We'll see you on the other side.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is SportsLink Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best zero sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards and everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State Sports with SportsLink Digital.
Hey, this is Ethan Crow, fifth-year center for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Welcome back live from the Shoe, where we're getting set for Ball State Western Michigan here on the Ball State football pregame show. I'm Brayden Carroll, Sam Neiger alongside, who will be on the call with Dom Liacone and Ryan Stojetz once we get kickoff rolling here. Still about 10 minutes away from kickoff, so let's take a look at Western Michigan. Their 1-3 mark thus far doesn't really tell the story of this team. They have an FCS win over Bethune-Cookman, losses to Marshall, Ohio State, and a tight 14-point loss to Wisconsin, a game they were well into the fourth quarter. What do you make of the Broncos?
You know, I think this Western Michigan team actually mirrors Ball State in a lot of ways, especially the way that they play the game. I mean, their offense is chock full of a lot of weapons. Hayden Wolf, the quarterback, he's got so many weapons at his disposal. I look at guys like Anthony Sambucci, Kenneth Womack. They're going to be some top targets for him today, but then on the ground is where this Western Michigan team really excels. I mean, we've talked about it. 2 straight 100-plus yard games on the ground for Jaden Nixon. He had 189 yards against Bethune-Cookman and then 146 yards and a touchdown last week in the loss against Marshall. I think the combination of him, Zahir Abdus-Salam, and maybe if we see Jalen Buckley, who's a game-time decision in his first game since Wisconsin, that could be huge for this Western Michigan team. They really excel on the offensive side of the ball, but then on the defensive side, the Broncos are just kind of inexperienced. Yes, they have some Power 5 talent that they acquired from the transfer portal, but those aren't guys that necessarily got a lot of burn at their previous schools, so they don't necessarily have a ton of experience actually playing at this level. The chemistry isn't quite there yet on the defensive side of the ball for this Western Michigan team, so I think that combination really aligns with how Ball State plays the game as well, because the Cardinals have a pretty prolific offense, a really talented quarterback, but the defense just hasn't gelled yet. I think the same is true for Western Michigan, and I did watch that Ohio State and that Wisconsin game very closely. This is a team that can hang with some of the best teams in the country, and especially with Wisconsin, you know, they battled a really solid Badgers team late into that game. This is a team that has a lot of confidence, especially week one. They're not afraid of anybody in the Mid-American Conference.
And you look at their loss last week, 27-20 to Marshall. They were well in position to win that one, but the last 2 Broncos drives defined the game. The first one there, a fumble in the former, and then the latter, a 7-minute drive at the end of the game, halted by a goal line stop. Western Michigan, they just couldn't capitalize on their 14-point comeback to tie, and that's been a recurring issue for the Broncos this year.
If I didn't convince you that Western Michigan and Ball State are similar in the last segment, this ought to convince you, because that's the most Ball State way to lose a football game I've ever heard. I mean, 2 late possessions where you had a chance to win and you weren't able to capitalize. That's just been Ball State's MO over the past couple of years. I think it's interesting that both of these teams, you know, are going to be stuck in a closely contested game very late. One of those teams is finally going to get over the hump and get a close win today if this plays out how we think it is going to.
And this should be a fun matchup today here in Muncie, Indiana. And the families are in town for this one. We'll go down to sideline reporter Ryan Stojetz, who has more here on Family Weekend.
Hey guys, it is Community and Family Weekend here at Ball State. Earlier today, lots of Ball State families got to enjoy the incredible tailgate scene that Muncie has to offer. Now, those families are inside Schumann Stadium, hoping to cheer the Cardinals onto a victory. Now, the last two family weekends have been very good for Ball State. The Cards defeated Indiana State on family weekend last year and knocked off Murray State family weekend of 2022. However, both of those schools are FCS programs. Get this, guys. Ball State has not beaten an FBS opponent on family weekend since 2013 when the Cardinals defeated Toledo by a score of 31-24.
Thanks, Ryan, and this is a great opportunity for another FBS and another MAC win on family weekend. And you take a look at the faces to know today for Ball State. The Cardinals, they need a bounce-back game from Caden Samanza, and this wide receiver core alongside Tanner Koziel at the tight end slot will have to find ways to get open.
Yeah, so many different options for Caden Samanza to look at. One that I want to specifically point to, the return of Ty Robinson, the transfer from Colorado. He was hurt for a lot of last season. He was injured on the first play of this season against Missouri State. He was highly touted coming into this season. I know he's fired up to get back out there. Look for Samanza to get the ball to him, and then, of course, Tanner Koziel all afternoon long.
And you mentioned for Western Michigan the trifecta running back room that they voiced. And their running back, Jaden Nixon, their ace, he'll need to be the hot hand, currently a top 50 back in the nation.
Yeah, he's not afraid to run against anybody right now. It kind of seemed like that switch flipped against Bethan Cookman. He had just 6 yards against Wisconsin and then 19 against Ohio State. Followed that up with a performance of 189 and 146 yards against Bethan Cookman and Marshall, respectively. This is a kid who has got the hot hand all of a sudden, and he's excited to get the football, get as many touches as he can. He's going to have a big day if Ball State can't stop the run.
Big day here in Muncie, Indiana. That'll do it for the Ball State football pregame show. We'll take a quick break, and on the other side, it's Dominick Liacone, Sam Neiger, Ryan Stojetz on the call for a big home MAC opener here at Schumann Stadium. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the game.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
Hey, this is Ty Robinson, redshirt junior wide receiver for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
From Schumann Stadium on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Muncie, Indiana, we can once again say welcome home, Ball State. After 4 weeks away from the shoe, the Cardinals are finally back for another home contest, and this time it's to open up the home conference schedule. Two teams coming at 1-3 in this one. It's the Western Michigan Broncos traveling down to Muncie to take on the Ball State Cardinals. I'm Dominick Liacone, joined by Sam Neiger. We've got Ryan Stojetz down on the sidelines and Brayden Carroll doing the producing. Thank you for joining us here on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. Just about set for game time between these two teams. Sam, this is a must-win if you think about it for both of these squads. We said it earlier, but a 1-4 start is a much different start than a 2-3 start.
We've chatted about it all day off and on. You have got to get this done today if you want to have a successful rest of the season. We talked about it in the pregame as well. You have to go 5-3 to make a bowl game. So with that in mind, you've got to get it done today, and these are two teams that are hungry for a win. Both teams coming off of a loss. Ball State hasn't won since week 1 against Missouri State, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Cardinals are going to respond back at home.
The Broncos have not yet played a Mid-American Conference game, while Ball State a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned it with Brayden during the pregame show, a heartbreaker in Mount Pleasant against the Central Michigan Chippewas. Ball State won the coin toss. They elected to take the ball first. They will move from left to right. It's Malcolm Gilly and Nick Munson back towards the respective end zone to get ready for action here as Western Michigan's kicker and Lucas Zurich, the 6th-year transfer out of Butler, will kick it off. Both teams without their starting kickers. Ball State without Jackson Corville, and Western Michigan without Palmer Domschke. Boot meets leather. We're underway. Gilly will take it just outside the right hash mark from his own goal line, up to the 10, now to the 15. Spins around a man at the 20, outside the numbers right, before he's finally hauled down. And that's how we get things underway. And for Western Michigan, it looked like the first man to get there was Josh Franklin. So 1st and 10 for the Cardinals from their own 24-yard line. This is where we will see the redshirt freshman Caden Samanza go to work for the first time this afternoon, leading the MAC in both completions and completion percentage, up there among the nation's best to start.
Tough week last week, though, that he had those 3 picks against James Madison. He's got to settle in early here today.
2 men in the backfield for Samanza out of the shotgun. 1st and 10, a man in motion, and Kelly. The handoff goes to Sloan up the middle, bounces outside the right hash mark, and he'll pick up about 5 yards as he scampers up to the 27-yard line.
Dom, we've talked so much about this Western Michigan ground game. I think the same key applies to Ball State. The team that's going to run the football better today is going to put themselves in a better chance to win. These are two defenses that really struggle to stop the run.
2nd and 6, 14:30 to play here in quarter number 1. Just underway here from Muncie, no score. Samanza out of the gun, a man to his left in Sloan. Samanza looking right after taking the snap, finds his tight end Koziel on the slant route in, and he'll pick up a couple yards after reaching the 30, past the 35, outside the numbers right. Scampers out of bounds. It's a Ball State first down here on the first drive.
And that's what makes Koziel so special. Not only the ability to get open on a really well-run route, he then shows off the shiftiness, which is unreal at 6'7" and 237 pounds to scamper out of bounds and make one man miss.
Samanza will go out of the pistol here. 1st and 10 with 14 to play in quarter number 1. Samanza claps the hands on the hard count. Now sends his man in motion in Robinson. Play action looking right. The pass is deflected and incomplete. And you look at who got there first. It was Tyson Lee, the defensive end for Western Michigan, able to get a palm on that ball.
Yeah, that was a really well timed by Tyson Lee. It's tough to bat a ball out of the air, especially when he's only 6'2". But a great read that time, and he made Samanza a little bit hurried. I think the more pressure that Western Michigan gets on him, the more mistakes he's going to make.
Both of these teams coming off of a 4-8 season from a year ago. Samanza once again out of the pistol, 2 men to his left, sends a man in motion from right to left. It's Sloan behind Samanza, who takes the snap out of the shotgun, hands it off to Sloan, who tries to bounce outside right, now cuts back upfield past the 40 to around the 42-yard line. A gain of about 2. So 3rd and 8 with 13:40 left in quarter number 1. Ball State trying to convert on this 3rd and fairly long.
And this is true of any team that you come across at the Division I level. When you have that first drive, when you have the ball first, you know what plays you're going to call for the first couple. But when you get into a 3rd down and long, all of a sudden the playbook opens and maybe you're throwing something new at this defense.
3rd and 8 for Samanza. From his own 42-yard line, his tight end Abney comes in motion from right to left. 2 men to his right, 1 to his left for Samanza. Samanza looking downfield, a lot of time, steps up in the pocket and throws a sitting duck right into coverage, but luckily for Ball State, it falls onto the turf. It's a long incompletion, and the punting unit will head out for the first time.
Yeah, just some miscommunication there. There was plenty of time to throw for Samanza, but Ty Robinson, it is his first game back. That was just his first drive back after the injury in week 1 against Missouri State. He didn't necessarily know what route he was going to run. You got to clean those things up, though, if you're Robinson in this offense, sooner rather than later.
Anthony Sambucci at his own 15-yard line, awaiting the punt here from Brian Cooey Jr., who sent just 1 punt this year inside the 20-yard line. The transfer from Charleston Southern gets the long snap and boots it away. It's a good one on a line. Sambucci loses his footing. The ball scampers past him towards the 15-yard line. It takes a Ball State hop. That's the second punt that Cooey Jr. has sent inside the 20 this year. Not a bad one either. Deep into Western Michigan territory, the Broncos offense will come out for the first time today, where we will see Hayden Wolf and company try and manufacture some points early.
Yeah, this is a Western Michigan offense that's been really balanced so far this year. I like Hayden Wolf a lot, the redshirt senior, transfer from Old Dominion. It is his second year at the helm for Western Michigan, but these receivers last year, especially Anthony Sambucci, had really solid days against Ball State last year. Sambucci had a career-high best 3 touchdowns in the win against Ball State last year. Look for him to get involved early.
1st and 10, 12:57 to go here in quarter number 1. A couple of men either way for Wolf, who takes a snap out of the shotgun. It's a screen pass over to his wide receiver, and Nixon breaks away past the numbers right to the 20 before scampering out of bounds. We'll see how much they give him, but a nice completion on the little bubble the other way, far side. Should be about 2nd and 4 now with under 13 to play in the first.
And Nixon's not a guy that gets involved in the pass game often. Only 5 receptions through the first 4 weeks. That's just his 6th catch on the year. We'll see if they try and mix him in more in this game.
2nd and 4 from his own 21. Wolf takes the snap out of the shotgun, hands it off to Nixon, tries to find some space up the middle before he's gobbled up by that line up front. It was Nathan Reichert who got to him first, just past the 20-yard line, so still 3rd and 4 here now with under 12.5 to play in the first.
Some about that 20-yard line, Dom. That's the second Bronco we've seen slip right around the same spot. You have to wonder if there's something going on down there on the turf.
2 wide receivers to the left for Wolf, 1 to the right. Wolf takes the snap out of the gun, fires over the middle, and it's caught. Looked like it was his tight end in Blake Bosma who picked up the reception, and it was right at the 30-yard line, up the gut. 1st and 10. That's the first down of the afternoon.
And that was really well executed from Wolf. He stood in there in the pocket. That's a tough throw to make right over the middle into the gut of the defense, and Bosma hauled it in, get the job done, just pick up a couple of yards. This Western Michigan offense starting to find its groove.
Under 12 to play here in the first. 1st and 10 from his own 30 is Wolf. He's out of the pistol here. Buckley is right behind him. He takes the handoff, shoots outside to the left, past the 40, and he's wrapped up and taken down by Joey Stemler, the linebacker. Nice gain. That's going to move the chains for about 11 yards and another first down.
And there you go. We have that confirmation that Jalen Buckley is going to get some burn today. He got hurt in that first game at Wisconsin. He is back. He had 16 carries and 2 touchdowns before he got hurt against the Badgers. So that kind of makes that third really solid Western Michigan running back to attack Ball State.
The reigning MAC freshman of the year from last year. Wolf out of the shotgun again, takes the snap, is running back. And Nixon trying to find some room up the middle, breaks one tackle, then another outside the left hash, and bursts his way up to around the 44-yard line.
It's pretty unbelievable running there from Nixon. I mean, he had to bounce off a couple of tacklers there for Ball State. Those are some big boys up front for the Cardinals, and Nixon held his ground like they were nothing. This is a guy that just runs with fury. He does not want to go down. That's what makes him so dangerous.
2nd and 7 for Western Michigan. 10.5 to go in the first quarter. Still no score. Ball on his own 44 for Wolf out of the gun. 2 wide receivers either way, and Buckley in the backfield with them. Quick look to the right. The pass is caught, and cutting up the middle past the 50 up to the 45 is Blake Bosma with his second completion of the day. Another first down for Western Michigan, now into Ball State territory with just over 10 to play.
Yeah, and George Udo, the sniper for Ball State, he's going to be kicking himself later for that. He kind of overcommitted to the sideline with the pass heading to Bosma. All he had to do was cut back inside. Udo lost his footing when he could have had a tackle for a loss there.
Out of the pistol is Wolf. 1st and 10 from the Ball State 46. Wolf scampers around in the pocket, finds some room, fires downfield outside the left hash, and that ball is complete to Malik Dedudon, the slot wide receiver, all the way downfield to the 28-yard line. Big completion there for Wolf.
And again, a missed opportunity for Ball State. They sent the blitz on a delayed disguised blitz from Keontae Newsom. He had a chance to bring down Wolf and just didn't make the tackle.
An 18-yard completion. Wolf out of the shotgun, hands it off to his running back up the middle, who bursts forward, powers through a couple of tackles, and then is taken down.
That was Zahir Abdus-Salam, that third back for Western.
So 2nd and 4, now 9 to play here in quarter number 1. Still no score. Western Michigan threatening just outside of the red zone on the Ball State 21-yard line. This is a three-headed monster in the running back room for Western Michigan. Wolf out of the gun. He's got Nixon, the running back, to his right. Puts a man in motion from left to right, takes the snap, hands it off to Nixon up the middle. Finds his way past the 15, now to the 5, and he scoots in for a touchdown. We talked about it so much, how this run game was going to be very hard to stop for Western Michigan. And Jaden Nixon has his team-leading 4th touchdown of the year. He already led the MAC in yards per carry coming into the ball game, and he has another score here to make it 6-0 Broncos early with just over 8.5 to play in the first.
It's hard not to be a little disappointed with the tackling from Ball State that time, Dom. You had to think that Jeff Knowles, the defensive coordinator for the Cardinals, was wanting to emphasize that this week, but not great tackling on that first drive from the Cards.
The extra point from Lucas Zurich is good. He's now 11 for 11 on PATs this year. We'll take a media timeout, and when we come back, Ball State will return to offense once again. 7-0 Broncos here with 8:39 to play in quarter number 1. Don't go anywhere. This is Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptoninn.com. At munciesuites.hamptoninn.com.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State Sports with SportsLink Digital.
Hey, this is Ethan Crow, 5th-year center for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
The Broncos strike first, 7-0 Western Michigan with 8:39 to play in quarter number 1. After a 9-play drive for 85 yards, that lasts 4 minutes and 18 seconds, capped off by a 21-yard rushing touchdown from Jaden Nixon, Sam.
It was balanced between run and pass in the play calling. The running was explosive. We saw that three-prong attack between Buckley, Abdus-Salam, and then Nixon, who put it to bed. Really great execution from Western Michigan across the board. Ball State, some things to clean up.
Line drive kick from Zurich, taken in outside towards the right for Gilly, who gets past one tackle, then another. Jumps out back towards the numbers left. A flag is down on the field, but Gilly is up towards the 38-yard line. So a nice return there, but we'll see what the laundry on the field is for.
Yeah, already pointing towards Ball State. I think this is coming back at least a ways. Almost every time a flag is thrown on a special teams play, it's going to go against the receiving team.
See what Andrew Sepical says, our referee today.
During the return, holding, return team, number 22. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
And that's on Jack Beebe, the usual linebacker, but on special teams here, it's called for a hold, so the Cardinals will have to retreat back to their own 15 where they'll set up shop for 1st and 10 on this drive.
Yeah, that's not great field position, especially when you just got punched in the mouth by Western. Really, Ball State executed their first couple of plays of that first drive really well, and the offense sort of sputtered a bit. I want to see a similar balance from the Cardinals between run and pass. Just try and get into a rhythm as quickly as possible.
2 men in the backfield for Simonza and 2 wide receivers out to the left. No, it's actually Kyle Kelly who takes the snap. And on the option, jet sweep, the ball comes out towards the 10-yard line. Western Michigan saying they have it. Let's see who's got the football.
The ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st and goal, Western Michigan.
Wow. Kyle Kelly cannot hang on to the football. It was Cam Pickett who was coming from right to left on the sweep. It was an option. Kelly tried to hang on to the football and then just lost it.
And let's give credit to Mason Nelson, who delivered that hit. He hit Kelly at the exact right time. Right at the point of contact was when he had to make the decision whether or not to hand the ball off or keep it to himself. He did neither, and he just put the ball on the turf. Good stuff by Western Michigan on the defensive side, and now excellent field position to add to this already growing lead.
Just gut-wrenching for Ball State's offense. 8:24 to play. 1st and goal for Western Michigan. Wolf out of the shotgun will hand it off to Mixon up the middle. Tries to bounce off of one tackle, but he's stuffed right up at the line of scrimmage. And guess who? Keontae Newsome was the first one there to meet him. George Udo, the sniper, also came in. He got some contact in as well. So 2nd and 10 now as the clock starts to trickle past 8 minutes here in the first.
Yeah, nobody's going to be more fired up about that turnover than the Keontae Newsome. He is the definitive vocal leader on this defense. You better believe he's upset about the missed tackles on the drive previous. He wants to hold Western Michigan to a field goal here.
2nd and 10, 7:50 left here in quarter number 1. Out of the shotgun is Wolf with 1 wide receiver out to the left, 2 to the right. Wolf has a lot of time, fires up the middle, touchdown Western Michigan. That's his tight end, Blake Bosma. It only takes 2 plays after the turnover. Western Michigan got incredible field position, and all of the sudden, not even halfway through quarter number 1, it's already a 14-0 Western Michigan lead.
And it's clear what the strategy is in the red zone for Western Michigan. It's go no huddle. It's a hurry-up offense, confuse the defense, and that time it was Joey Stemler who wasn't ready for the snap. He got lined up against the tight end, Bosma. He didn't realize he was in coverage until it was too late, and Bosma wide open in the end zone. Perfectly executed for the Broncos.
Snap good, hold good. Kick on the PAT is true. High over the netting. With authority, Luka Zurich makes it a 14-0 ball game with 7:43 left here in the first. If you're Ball State, this is not the start you wanted at all, Sam.
It definitely is not, but, ultimately it wasn't their usual quarterback, Caden Simonza, who had that turnover. I think they want to stick with the guy who wants to who's been leading this team, the guy who turns the ball over the least, and that's Simonza. You're going to have a little better for your field position. You maybe learned your lesson on that option play. You're hoping that he's able to execute a drive when we come back.
We'll take another quick break here on SportsLink Digital. 7:43 left here in quarter number 1. 14-0 Western Michigan leads over Ball State early in this one. Don't go anywhere. It's SportsLink Digital Radio presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
From Trivia Night at Brothers and Tater Tots at Roots.
Never miss a Ball State game with SportsLink Digital.
Hey, this is Ty Robinson, redshirt junior wide receiver for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Ball State already in a hole here early in quarter number one with 7:43 to go. It's 14-0 Western Michigan after the Broncos are able to take advantage on a costly turnover on the very first play of the second drive for Ball State's offense. One of those touchdowns already for Western Michigan scored by running back Jaden Nixon, and for more on him, we send it down to the third member of our crew, Ryan Stojetz. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, Dom. Western running back Jaden Nixon had just a combined 25 rushing yards in Western Michigan's first two games against big foes, Wisconsin and Ohio State. However, over the Broncos' last two contests, Nixon has combined for 305 rush yards and 3 touchdowns. The redshirt junior is in his first year with Western Michigan after spending the last 3 seasons at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is where Nixon's father played defensive back. And get this, Nixon is also the cousin of NFL legend Adrian Peterson, who played running back in the NFL from 2007 to 2021. It's safe to say football runs in the family for Jaden Nixon.
Yeah, it's a great story there, Ryan. Thank you. And we've been very impressed with the transfer out of Oklahoma State, who's already second in the MAC in rushing yards coming into today, leading the entire conference in yards per carry. A floater kick from Zurek is Gilly receives it at the 2-yard line. He cuts towards the left, now towards the right. There he goes down the sideline past the 50, towards the 40, the 30. Malcolm Gilly's gone down the far sideline. Touchdown, Cardinals. What a response. And all of a sudden, we've got a football game once again early.
This is a team that needed juice, and there is no better play to get you fired up than a kickoff return for a touchdown. Malcolm Gilly turned on the Jets, got a couple of good blocks, switched the field, and the rest is history. That is what the doctor ordered for Ball State. How about it? All of a sudden, we have a chance at a one-score game again, and this Ball State team is as fired up as I've seen them all season. They were all sprinting down the sideline to cheer on their guy.
Just when you thought the life was sucked out of the Cardinals early, Malcolm Gilly brings this Ball State team back to life. Carson Holmer, the backup kicker, in to do the PAT, and it is true. So it's a one-score game once again. How about that for Malcolm Gilly? On a 98-yard return, Ball State cuts the lead in half. And we'll take, once again, another media timeout. Don't go anywhere. The shoe is rocking here on Family Weekend here from Muncie. This is Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pride Mark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pride Mark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Hey, this is Katie Samanza, redshirt freshman quarterback for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So right when Ball State gets punched in the gut, they get right back up. And thanks to Malcolm Gilly's 98-yard kick return for a touchdown, the Cardinals have life again with 7.5 to go here in the first quarter. Western Michigan now leads Ball State by just a score, 14-7. here on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. With Sam Neiger and Ryan Stojetz down on the sidelines, I'm Dominick Liacone. Thanks for joining us on this absolutely stunning Saturday afternoon for some football.
It is just a gorgeous Midwest afternoon. Really, it doesn't get much better than this. It feels like MACtion, Dom. And what an unreal first quarter we've had already. It's 14-7, and we are exactly halfway through the first quarter. We said this game might have shootout potential. It looks like it's heading in that direction already.
Homer gets ready to boot it away from his own 35-yard line. Jaden Nixon back, set to return from his own 4-yard line for Western Michigan. Broncos 14, Cardinals 7. 7.5 to play here in the first quarter. Homer gets set to boot it from left to right. And we are back underway from Muncie. Short kick, right of the hash mark towards the far side is Nixon, who takes it in. Bounces out back towards the middle and then is drugged down right at around the 27-yard line. The ball came out. And we'll see who jumped on it. The football was loose.
Of course, all of Ball State is pointing in the direction of their end zone, but
they say Western Michigan football. Ben Marsh was the first one to greet Nixon right at around the 28-yard line.
Fumbled the ball and then subsequently recovered the ball at the 29-yard line. 1st and 10, Western Michigan.
So Western catches a break. You hear the boos rain down from Muncie. We take another look at it on the big board. Yeah, that ball definitely came out.
And then it's just kind of a scrum from there. Tough to tell who fell on it. I think you just got to – they're going to take a look at it.
They are going to take a look at this. And now some applause in the stands here from Schumann Stadium as the Cardinal faithful gets loud again. It's a Ball State challenge.
The ball was recovered by the receiving team.
Gotta love it from Mike New. I mean, how about it? It could be 2 straight special teams plays to bring your team back into this. And if that replay was any indicator, it's going to be a tough decision for the officials to make. Obviously, it's clear that the ball came out. It's just kind of who fell on top of it in the middle of that scrum, Dom. Thankfully, we were afforded the replay booth right next to us here, so we kind of get to peek over. But this is going to be really close.
If Ball State can recover this fumbled kick return, it would be the turnaround already of the game. And I know there's still 7.5 to play here in the first quarter. But just when you thought Ball State might have already started to hang their heads extremely early in this one, MACtion can turn around within the snap of your fingers. And we might have that here if Mike New is successful with this challenge.
And I can see a couple of Ball State players trying to peek over, view what the officials are viewing. I see D.D. Snyder, who is standing behind the officials a couple of yards away, trying to peer into that replay booth. He seems real fired up. He thinks he and his Cardinals recovered this fumble.
Let's
After
see.
Review, the ruling on the field stands. It'll be Western Michigan's ball, 1st and 10. Ball State has no more challenges for the ball game, and they will be charged 1 timeout.
Okay, so Mike New unsuccessful on the challenge, so not only do the Cardinals lose a timeout, no more challenges for Ball State. It'll be 1st and 10 now from the Western Michigan 29 for Hayden Wolf and company. He's out of the shotgun here. Buckley right behind him. Wolf takes the snap out of the gun, hands it off for Buckley, who cuts out to the left, outside the hash, now outside the numbers left, near side past the 35 for a gain of about 5.
And that's a tackling that we need to see from Ball State. First one there that time for the Cardinals was Miles Norwood. He's not necessarily going to be tasked with bringing down running backs very often, but first time solo tackles are going to be huge for Ball State to stop this Western Michigan run.
2nd and 4 now. Western Michigan at its own 35-yard line with under 7 to play. Wolf takes the snap, play action, looks right, and the pass is dropped. He had Kenny Womack right in the flat, and Womack just straight up dropped the ball. That was in and out of his hands.
Yeah, that was a kind of uncharacteristic of what we've seen from Womack. You know, Marshall was his first game of the year after coming off of injury. He's a second-year transfer from Sacred Heart, so still maybe trying to get some of those jitters out after not playing the first 3 games of the season, but an uncharacteristic drop from their slot receiver.
Womack did miss the first 3 games of the season due to an injury he sustained in fall camp. It was a hand injury. So now 3rd and 4. Taking the snap out of the gun is Wolf, looking right. Pass is broken up by Jordan Coleman, incomplete. And the free safety for Ball State denies Anthony Sambucci of a reception on the far side towards the 40. 4th down, and Western's going to be forced to punt.
That was the perfect read from Jordan Coleman. He saw Wolf go through his progressions. He finally got to his last one, which was Sambucci on the far side. Coleman came flying in, batted it away with that right hand, and you'll notice, Dom, that's the first time we've called Anthony Sambucci's name. He is the top target usually for Western Michigan. Still no receptions on the day for him.
Keon Magwood back at his own 20-yard line, right of the hash mark on the near side. Doing the punting is Ryan Milmore, the redshirt freshman from Bloomington, Illinois. Magwood calls poison and just lets this ball trickle and roll past the 10.
Oh, wow.
Now past the 5 towards the 4-yard line. What a punt for Ryan Milmore, who already has 7 punts inside the 20-yard line this year. This redshirt freshman has a boot on him, the first-year transfer from Iowa. Does not give the Cardinals anything to work with early on this next possession.
Yeah, even worse field position than when we saw Ball State out last time on the offensive side when they had that turnover in their own red zone. Looks like Samanza's going to get the first rep on this drive, so we'll see if he's able to hold on to the football a little better.
A wide receiver out either way. Now the man comes in motion, and Thacker. The handoff goes to Sloan, who gets gobbled up right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe gained a yard or 2 after contact. And getting to him first for Western Michigan was Popeye Williams, the defensive end.
And while that might not seem like an overly crucial 2-yard run, that gives a lot more breathing room to Samanza. He's no longer standing on his own goal line. It opens up the playbook for a possible pass here on 2nd and long.
Under 6 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Samanza out of the shotgun, scrambling now in the pocket. Just has to throw it towards his tight end, Koziel, on the far side. And it is dropped. But, boy, that was awfully close to a safety. The offensive line letting that blitz come in from Western Michigan. Samanza had nowhere to go, and luckily just able to throw it away. Almost found his man in Koziel.
Yeah, and the big fella, Mason Nelson, right up the gut there, 6'1", 310 pounds. That is a lot. That is a big boy right in the face of Caden Samanza, and a good job by Samanza to stay poised and at least get the ball out of his hands.
So now 3rd and 8. Samanza from his own 7-yard line out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers out to his right. Sloan in the backfield on his right hip. Samanza claps the hands, takes the snap. It's a screen pass to Sloan, who cuts outside the numbers. Right. He's past the 10, now past the 20. Breaks one tackle and another past the 50. There goes Brayden Sloan down the sideline, and he's finally wrapped up and dragged down for a huge gain into Western Michigan territory past the WMU 20. Tate Hollick had to chase him down, finally able to wrap up Sloan. A huge gain of over 60 for Brayden Sloan.
Dom, can you believe this first quarter so far? Unbelievable. I mean, that was a 72-yard pitch and catch to Brayden Sloan, who never gets involved in the passing game, and he shows you the speed there, the Eastern Kentucky transfer. And that's a huge play for the Cardinals.
1st and 10 now, the Cardinals knocking on the door of the red zone. Ball State, one of the best red zone teams. This pass is up the middle for Robinson. It is caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Ball State. The Cardinals are an extra point away from tying this bad boy up at 14.
And that's the guy you want to see get involved. Ty Robinson, we already touched on it. Hurt on the first play of the first game this season. Bad shoulder injury, kept him away for a while. He was hurt all of last year. This is a guy that's fought so much adversity. He was one of those guys from Colorado that was told to hit the road after Deion Sanders took over as head coach. He comes to Ball State, and that is his first touchdown of the season. So good to see him back on what is a perfectly executed drive from the Cards.
A 21-yard reception for a touchdown. Holmer's extra point is true. We are knotted up at 14 apiece here from Muncie. With just over 5 to play in the first quarter, we've gone back and forth. This is Maction, baby.
And you have to imagine that over on that Western Michigan sideline, they are defeated all of a sudden. I mean, just 2.5 minutes ago, you know, they had a 7-point lead. But even 2 minutes before that, they had a 14-point lead against the Cardinals. This was a Western Michigan team that was absolutely fired up. They had a lot of juice. Ball State looked defeated, and all it took was a big special teams play from Malcolm Gilly. The 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown gave Ball State some breathing room on both sides of the ball, and then we see probably one of the best executed throws from Caden Samanza so far this year on a rope over to Ty Robinson for the touchdown. Ball State real fired up now. It is anybody's game with 5 minutes to go in the first.
So 14 all. Holmer getting ready to get us back underway, booting it off from his own 35-yard line. 5:02 left in the first quarter. Both teams with 2 touchdowns each. 14 all here early in this one on family weekend for Ball State. After a rocky start, that looked like this game could turn into a disaster. Ball State able to respond. Jaden Nixon back deep for Western at his own 4-yard line. And boot meets leather. A line drive kick sailing towards the left. This will bounce out of bounds. No. And that's a penalty.
And that's just what happens when you have your backup kicker in the game sometimes. Carson Holmer not necessarily ready for that situation all the time. But that's a nice break for Western Michigan. They've got good field position. Maybe this offense can get rolling like we saw it on those first 2 drives, Dom.
I don't mind the idea there from Holmer because he had a lot of green grass on that right side of the field, but got to keep it in play. And now Western Michigan has it at their own 35-yard line. Wolf with a wide receiver out either side. 1st and 10 with 5:02 left here in the first. He's in the pistol with a man in the backfield. Play action. Wolf rolling right, has his man. That's caught by Sambucci. Breaks 1 tackle, then breaks a man's ankles at the 40 outside the numbers far side before he's pushed out of bounds. Sambucci putting the moves on this Ball State defense. A gain of about 9. 2nd and 1 with under 5 to play now.
He is just an unbelievable athlete, isn't he, Dom? He loves playing against Ball State. He had those 3 touchdowns against the Cardinals last year. He had 21 receptions in just 9 games last year. That's reception number 14 on the year for him already. He's going to be one of those top targets for Hayden Wolf.
They'll say he got 8 yards, so 2nd and 2 now. Western Michigan at its own 43. Wolf still out of the pistol. A man behind him. 2 wide receivers out right. The handoff up the middle. Here's Buckley. Finds space out the outside. Towards the numbers left. There he goes down the sideline past the 20. Now the 15. Breaks 1 tackle, then another. Towards the near pylon. Touchdown. That was actually Jaden Nixon who took it all the way to the house. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And Western Michigan responds right back. We have a bloodbath so far here from Muncie. Already 5 different touchdowns early in this one. A 57-yard score to the house for Nixon.
Yeah, apparently the defenses didn't get the invite to today's game, Dom. I mean, that was another poor bit of tackling. This time, Keontae Newsom wasn't able to wrap him up on the sideline. Defense wasn't able to set the edge, but give credit to Nixon. He's having a heck of a game already. He has found his groove running the football.
Zurich's extra point makes it a 21-14 game. We've gone back and forth for Muncie.
Wow.
4:09 left here in quarter number 1. Ball State now trails Western Michigan 21-14.
This is one of the most unbelievable first quarters I've seen in a Ball State game, Tom. I mean, this is just phenomenal. We've seen 5 touchdowns, and it's been 11 minutes. We are en route for a real shootout here.
We were talking earlier off air about how this game, like any MAC game, could come down to the wire, maybe 1 or 2 possessions. And we had mentioned with the way these 2 defenses have been playing as of late, it could be a shootout.
Let's be honest, though, Dom, a shootout by max standards is 30 points. Like, there's not a ton of explosive offense in this league, but 21-14 with 4 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the first quarter. It looks like this game is destined for 30 or 40-point territory per team.
Zurich set to boot it away for Western Michigan. Malcolm Gilly once again back deep for the Cardinals at his own goal line. A chip shot towards the right. Munson will catch it over his head at the 10-yard line far side. Will get wrapped up and dragged down at around the 17-yard line. Smart kick there from Zurich after Gilly took one back to the house last time, and the first one there for Western Michigan was Jelani Willis.
And I have to wonder, Dom, now that this game is kind of settled in just a bit, we've seen Western Michigan execute some really solid drives up and down the field. Ball State has not really had a slow, methodic drive yet, and that's something that this team has kind of been lacking as of late. I want to see if they're able to execute it here.
Samanza under center from his own 17, 1st and 10. Flags thrown, could be a false start.
Samanza's pointing over towards the Western defense, but it looks like Ball State's backing up.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Bad to worse field position to start the drive now. 12-yard line again.
And that's on the left tackle, Arkel Anugum, the redshirt freshman out of Tennessee. So 1st and 15 now. Ball State backed up to its own 12 with 4:04 to play in the first.
Playbook should be open here, though, for Ball State. Sloan's had a pretty solid game so far. Obviously, a big play on the last drive. We'll see if they give it to him.
Simons out of the pistol, fakes the throw left, now looks right up the middle. He's got Koziel wide open at the 24-yard line, past the 25, outside the hash right, towards the MAC logo for a big gain, but just short of the line to gain.
Yeah, they'll give him 14 to the 15 that he needed, but let's give credit to Caden Simonza. He looks real comfortable back there. He's made some solid throws. He's had to scramble, almost overthrew Koziel, but put it really only where Koziel could get it. I've been really impressed with the route running from the big tight end in Koziel. He has given himself a lot of daylight when he catches the ball.
So 2nd and a very short one now with under 3.5 to play here in the first. Simonza out of the pistol once again with Sloan behind him, a wide receiver out to his right. Simonza takes the snap, hands it off to Sloan, who finds a hole up the middle, bursts through towards the 30, and he'll have an easy first down as the chains move for Ball State.
And that run right there, Dom, tells me how Brayden Sloan's progression has already changed through this young season, right? Week 1, he would have maybe tried to throw on a little hesitation step there. He would have tried to juke the defender. That time he only knew he needed 1 yard. He just put his head down, kept those legs turning, fought for that first down, and got a couple of extra yards with the cherry on top.
Ball State at its own 31 with under 3 to play here in the first. 1st and 10 for Simonza out of the gun. Sloan to his left hip. Simonza clamps the hands, takes the snap, play action. Simonza a lot of times steps up in the pocket. He's going to run, and he's got some room. He'll try and spin around a man at the 35 before he's wrapped up and speared down by the Western Michigan defense. Boone Bunima, the redshirt senior out of Zeeland, Michigan, was the first to greet him. A gain of about 5, so it'll be 2nd and 5 with under 2.5 to play here in the first quarter. Ball State now at its own 36.
I can feel Mike New cringing from up here. He would have much rather Caden Simonza slid to the turf there rather than take a hit. It wasn't a big hit, just got kind of wrapped up and thrown down, but the fewer hits he can take, the better for a redshirt freshman quarterback that has the chance to be a star.
2 minutes left here in quarter number 1. 2 men in the backfield for Simonza. Now sends one in motion. It's Kyle Kelly who takes the screen pass after the shotgun snap. Wrapped up towards the near sideline and pushed out of bounds. Deshaun Bussell, the left cornerback, able to get to him first. No gain on the play. If anything, a gain of only about 1. So they will say 3rd and 4. Here, Ball State now up to its own 37.
I know it's a 3rd down, but the playbook feels open to me here. You can give it to Sloan if you want it to be a tough 4 yards, but really you can call just about anything here.
A wide receiver out to the right for Simonza, a couple to the left. Now Koziel goes in motion out to the left. Sloan in the backfield to his right hip. And Simonza takes the snap, fires it up the middle towards the 45. He has his tight end Koziel on the in route, just past the 45 up to the 46 for a Ball State first down. The Cardinals continue to move the chains.
And I touched on that second drive for Western Michigan where they scored the touchdown, that Joey Stemler was the linebacker who got caught out of position when it was Blake Bosma who was targeted. It seems like Western Michigan is falling into that same trap defensively. These linebackers cannot figure out yet how to cover Koziol. He's getting a lot of space around him when he's targeted, and it gives him some room for the yards after the catch. Really well executed play there.
Out of the pistol is Simonza from his own 46. 1st and 10 for Ball State now with 37 seconds left. The handoff goes to Sloan after the snap. Bounces outside. Spins around a man just inside now the near hash mark. That's a gain of about 15 for a Ball State first down.
He is slippery down there, isn't he? I love the way that Sloan is running the football right now. He feels more comfortable. It feels like he doesn't necessarily have as much to prove as he thought he did week one. He is just putting his nose to the grindstone and pushing forward, and he's making this Western Michigan team earn every tackle.
Ball State will let the clock hit zeros here in quarter number one. It'll be 1st and 10 for the start of the second. Ball State now into Western Michigan territory at the Bronco 43, but WMU leads early, 21-14, and a back and forth quarter number one. What a start here from Muncie. This is Maction, and this is Family Weekend from Ball State University. We've got a really good one on tap. On pace for a shootout here in Muncie. Don't go anywhere. Ball State football when we come back here on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is SportsLink Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State sports with SportsLink Digital.
Hey, this is Tanner Koziel, junior tight end here with Ball State football. Thanks for tuning in to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. This is your home for all things Ball State football.
Just about set here to start quarter number two from Muncie, 21-14 in favor of Western Michigan. Thanks for joining us on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon for Family Weekend. Dominick, Liacone, and Sam Neiger with you. This is the 100th year of Ball State football, of course. And to expand more on that, let's send it down to the third member of our crew on the sidelines, and Ryan Stojetz.
The 100th anniversary of Ball State's first season in 1924 coincides with the 100th season on the field, given that the Cardinals did not field a team in 1943 due to World War II. One of the most significant events related to the 100th season celebration will be at Ball State's final home game this season, where the All-Century team will be revealed. The All-Century team will be voted on by Ball State fans. To vote, go to ballstatesports.com, click Teams, click football, and then click vote all-century team to make your voice heard as the Cardinals celebrate this milestone season.
Thanks very much, Ryan. Yeah, for sure. Get out there, vote for the all-century team on ballstatesports.com under the football tab. An extremely exciting way to celebrate a century of history. 1st and 10 for Simonza at the Bronco 43. Sends Pickett in motion from left to right, under center. Simonza takes the snap, hands it off to Sloan, bursts up the middle, picks up about 5 yards before being dragged down. It'll be 2nd and 5 for Ball State, still into Bronco territory.
Yeah, why not pick up right where you left off? Give the ball to Sloan. He's got the hot hand right now. He's playing really solid football, and he just continues to want to churn this out for Ball State. And Sloan already has 72 yards to his name. That's just receiving the ball, and he's got 27 yards on the ground. A huge day for him.
2nd and 7 from the Western 40. Simonza under pressure, pocket collapses. He'll be taken down in the backfield. Simonza goes down on the sack, and there to get him first was the DN, Corey Walker. Walker has his 3rd sack. That's a team-leading 3rd sack of the year.
Yeah, really well read that time by Corey Walker. He's a big guy over there on the end. At 6'5", 270 pounds. He was just able to beat the left tackle in Arkell Enugwam. And that's just the inexperience right there of the redshirt freshman. He hasn't had a lot of burn, and he got beat by an older guy who's a junior.
3rd and 10, Simonza out of the gun. 3 wide receivers right. Simonza a lot of time, surveys the field, steps up in the pocket. Now he scampers up the middle, tries to find a crease up the gut, but is eventually taken down by the Western Michigan defense. Donald Willis, the weak side linebacker, met him first.
Ball State
It'll be 4th and 5, and Ball State's offense staying on the field.
Yeah, they're kind of in no man's land right now. You got your backup kicker in Carson Holmer, so not anywhere near field goal range at this point, but you're on the 38-yard line of Western Michigan. You have to think, why not roll the dice? There's not a ton to lose. You're not going to give up great field position if you don't convert. It's just whether or not Western Michigan can hold them.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right for Simonza. Sloan in the backfield to his right hip. Simonza claps the hands, takes the snap. Jukes 1 tackle now, slings it the other way for Magwood at the 35. That ball is caught. Magwood outside the numbers left. He still isn't drugged down. He's still on his feet at the 20 before pushed out of bounds. And that's a Ball State 1st down. What an athletic play by Keon Magwood.
These guys are fighting for every yard right now, Dom. First of all, an unbelievable scramble and throw by Caden Simonza. He was rolling right. He had to sling that across his body. He threw that probably 15 yards just laterally before Keon Magwood could even move up the field vertically. And then fighting for those extra yards. He had the jersey grabbed. He was hanging on by a thread and still able to fight for those extra yards. Phenomenal play. You can tell this team's fired up offensively.
1st and 10, 12-20 remaining here in the first half. That's a 19-yard pickup for Keon Magwood. Play action up the middle for Robinson. It's caught, and he's taken down, but the ball comes out. They'll say incomplete pass, however. One line judge actually
ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Ruled fumble at first, but it'll be ruled an incomplete pass. So just 2nd and 10. Boy, that could have been very, very dangerous.
You know, it's always hard to tell up here when it comes to plays like that. The player had his back to, Ty Robinson had his back turned to us. Tough to tell if he made complete control of the catch through the ground. To my naked eye, I thought he made the catch and was down and didn't fumble the football, but the officials who are a lot closer than us disagree.
2nd and 10, Ball State at the Western Michigan 20. Out of the pistol, the handoff goes to Spiegel up in the middle, trying to find some room cutting to the right, but he's eventually taken down as the line was there to meet him, and rushing in on the play was the strong safety and Tate Hollick. No gain, 3rd down and 10. Ball State threatening inside the red zone right now. One of the MAC's best inside the red zone this year is Ball State. 2nd in the Mid-American Conference, 8 for 9, 7 of those tries for touchdowns coming into today.
Yeah, this is a Ball State team that does know how to execute when they get down the field. It's just a matter of whether or not they can get there. This is a tall order, though, on a 3rd and 10 with Western Michigan dropping back.
3rd and 10 from the Western Michigan 20. Simonza looking left, high throw, caught outside the numbers, past the 10-yard line. That's Ty Robinson, 1st and goal, Ball State, with 11:13 to play in the 2nd quarter.
You think this team missed Ty Robinson while he was out? That was a great catch. Climbed the ladder, tough body control. He had great hands above his head, and he still brought it in, fighting through the tackle. That is a catch that some guys on Sundays cannot make, and Ty Robinson proves why he was at one point a Power 5 option.
That's a 14-yard pickup on the catch from Ty Robinson. First and goal, Ball State at the 6-yard line. Samanza with 3 wide receivers out right. Sloan in the backfield to his left hip. Samanza takes a snap, claps the hands. He'll run with it, and then he's bulldozed past the 5-yard line. Goodness gracious, he got hit like a truck, and that was Donald Willis, the weak side linebacker, who put the hit stick on Samanza.
Yeah, Willis and Nelson, the two of them together, kind of just threw him straight to the turf. It seems like it seems like when these guys have an opportunity to hit the quarterback in a legal way, of course, they take it. They are not pulling any punches when Samanza pulls down to run. I don't hate the play call idea though. That's something new we haven't seen a lot from Samanza and Ball State.
Under center is Samanza. Second and goal from the 4-yard line. Pickett goes in motion. It's a sweep outside. Pickett finds Pater. Touchdown, Cardinals.
Extracurriculars over in the end zone as well. Phenomenal play design, though. Spectacular on the sweep. Ball State executed it well. They had great blocking, and that's that slow, methodic drive I was talking about, Dom. Executed it start to finish to perfection.
That is Cam Pickett's first career collegiate touchdown for the redshirt sophomore out of Chicago, Illinois. Cam Pickett, welcome to Muncie. And with just under 10 to play here in the second quarter, Ball State an extra point away from tying it up. And look at this, Jackson Corville's going to do the kicking. We didn't think we would see him today because of that injury, but his extra point is good. 21-all here from Muncie, Indiana, with still about 10 minutes to play in the first half alone. We looked at the numbers earlier. The combined 35 points in the first quarter is the most combined points in a first quarter of a Ball State game since at least 2000. The previous record was set in 2015 when Texas A&M put up 28 points on Ball State in the first quarter, and Ball State scored just 3. But we've got a good one here from Muncie, as Mexion is back underway here from the shoe. 21 apiece with 9:54 to play in the second quarter. Don't go anywhere. It'll be Western Michigan football when we come back. It's Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
You're listening to Ball State football, streaming live with SportsLink Digital.
Now back to the stadium.
Hey, this is Tanner Koziel, junior tight end here with Ball State football. Thanks for tuning in to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. This is your home for all things Ball State football.
That last drive for Ball State, 15 plays, 83 yards. It lasted 9 minutes and 10 seconds with 9:54 left in the second quarter. Ball State and Western Michigan tied at 21 apiece. Here on family weekend from Schumann Stadium. Dominick, Liacone, Sam Neiger, Ryan Stojetz down on the sidelines, and Brayden Carroll up in the booth with us. Thanks so much for joining us on this stunning day from Muncie. Homer set to kick it away from right to left for Ball State. Nixon for Western at his own goal line. Drive kick that will sail over the head of Nixon, who lets it bounce past the end zone for a touchback. Sam, let's talk a little bit about this time of possession for Ball State, because not only do the Cardinals come into this afternoon first in the MAC in time of possession at just under 34 minutes a game, but that's good for 6th in the country. And with drives like that are manufactured for that long, it certainly helps.
It does, Dom, but you kind of scratch your head with some of the blowout losses that Ball State has had against teams like Miami and James Madison. I mean, they're getting unbelievable numbers put up against them, 62 and 63 points respectively, but they're turning that time of possession into touchdowns today.
1st and 10, Wolf out of the pistol, hands it off to Buckley, who cuts outside left towards the left hash and then is swallowed up by the Ball State defense. Brandon Berger, the first one to greet him, that rushing linebacker. 2nd and 8, a gain of about 2 for Buckley. Again, the reigning Mid-American Conference Freshman of the Year, was 3rd team All-MAC as well, one of just 2 freshmen in the nation to rush for over 1,000 yards. He's back in the backfield once again. 2 wide receivers out to the right for Wolf. 1 to the left. That man comes in motion. Wolf out of the gun. 2nd and 8 from his own 27. Claps the hands. Rolls right. He's got a man wide open, and Womack down the right side past the 45. And that is caught. Womack tries to cut upfield. He's dragged down by D.D. Snyder. A huge pickup for Western all of a sudden in Ball State territory. And that moves the chains up.
Yeah, it was the free safety, Jordan Coleman, that just got caught looking into the backfield and wasn't watching the man he was supposed to be covering. He thought it was a handoff to Jalen Buckley again, so he started to cheat over toward the middle of the field. It allowed the receiver to get wide open for a big gain.
A 32-yard catch for Womack, who again missed the first 3 games due to injury this year. Out of the pistol, it's Buckley who gets the handoff, trips and falls on the Schumann turf right towards the line of scrimmage, a gain of none. We haven't seen that a ton yet this year, but we certainly did last year, where guys were stumbling and bumbling on the turf here at Schumann.
Well, it's a tough part of the field because you just cross over from that Dancing Charlie logo, which was new last year. There's about a 10 by 10 patch of turf that's a little different because of that new logo. So when you step from one patch of turf to another, it's a little bit of a different texture. It's easier to lose that battle to the turf monster.
8 minutes to play here in the second. 2nd and 10 for Wolf. Out of the gun. Takes the snap. Looks left. Fires across his body. It's caught by Sam Bucci outside the numbers left, past the 30-yard line for a first down. A gain of 10. And the sticks move once again for the Broncos.
Yeah, Western Michigan, a great balance of run and pass. I said it very early on when they knocked home those first 2 touchdowns on those first 2 drives. They just had such a balanced attack. And the running backs in Jalen Buckley and Jaden Nixon getting involved, but then you got guys like Sam Bucci and Womack who are great through the air.
At the Ball State 30, it's 1st and 10. The handoff goes up the middle for the 3rd string running back for Zahir Abdul-Salam. We'll see where they mark him. It looks like he got about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4 here with now just over 7 to play in the second quarter. Ball spotted on Ball State's 24-yard line.
And that's the danger of this 3-pronged attack when it comes to the running backs, is they're always going to have fresh legs in the backfield. That's going to wear down the defensive front for Ball State. You have to wonder if they're not going to run out of gas in the second half.
Salam gets the handoff again. He cuts outside left past the numbers to the 20, the 10, the 5. He scores for a Western Michigan touchdown. Zahir Abdul-Salam gives Western Michigan the lead right back. 27-21 from Muncie with 6:47 to play. And did they actually mark him out of bounds?
They did mark him out of bounds. They said he was short over at the 7-yard line, but
Western Michigan and their band playing the fight song right now.
I don't blame him. It was tough to tell from this side of the field. You know, it was a tough angle over there. Maybe barely just got a toe out of bounds.
So it was not a touchdown. Instead, Wolf out of the gun, hands it off up the middle for Buckley, who tries to power forward past the 5 up to around the 3-yard line. Western Michigan started from the 7. We'll see where they mark them now. Now with 6 minutes to play here in quarter number 2.
Ball's going to be spotted about the 3-yard line. You got these big, powerful backs. You might as well get it to them. I could see Western Michigan trying to get tricky against this Ball State team. Maybe get cute with a little play action here.
Taking the snap is Wolf, handing it off to Buckley. Tries to lunge forward up the middle. He'll gain another yard or two. Right at the 1-yard line, actually around the half-yard mark.
Yeah.
Third and very short, and now Ball State needing a crucial stop here. I would not be surprised if they just give it to Buckley again. Even though he's only played a game this year, he's got 2 touchdowns. Wolf out of the gun, hands it off for Buckley. Does he have it up the middle, trying to get forward, and he is stopped short.
Wow.
The Ball State defensive line able to keep Buckley from finding pay dirt. Reichert was the first one on the scene for Ball State. Brandon Berger also there as well. So now 4th and short. Boy, look at where this ball is spotted, Sam. Under 5 to play here in the second quarter. 4th and goal. Wolf is going to go under center. I think they're just going to try a tush push here.
They brought in the big package for it.
Wolf hands it off, actually, trying to find Nixon, who leaps over the line of scrimmage. Is he in? He is not. Ball State's defense comes up huge.
Ruling on the field, the ball carrier will stop short of the goal line. Turnover on downs will be 1st and 10, Ball State.
Unbelievable.
Timeout on the field.
Well, for a team that doesn't know how to stop the run, or at least hasn't figured out how to stop the run through 4 games, that was the best defensive possession I've seen Ball State make. That is huge. You're going to have terrible field position, but it does not matter. To hold Western Michigan to no gain on 2 straight drives on the or 2 straight plays on the half-yard line with the running back core that they've got and the size that they brought in up front. My goodness, Ball State has a lot to be happy about right now inside 5 to play in the first half.
Still 21 all. Ball State from their own 1-yard line will take over when we come back. Here with 4:30 to play in the second quarter. We're all knotted up here from Muncie on Family Weekend. It's Western Michigan and Ball State here on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least 1 Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
Indiana's top sports media school in 2024 by the Indiana Association of School Broadcasters.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
Hey, this is Keontae Newsom, senior linebacker with Ball State Football. Thanks for tuning in to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. This is your home for all things Ball State sports.
Ball State has the football from their own 1-yard line, 1st and 10 after a massive defensive stand on the goal line for the defense. 21 all here between Western Michigan and Ball State. Thanks for joining us on this family weekend Saturday afternoon from Schumann Stadium. Dominick Liacone alongside my partner Sam Neiger. Ryan Stojetz patrolling the sidelines. Brayden Carroll up here producing and hosting. doing a fabulous job as always. So Caden Samanza under center, a man in the backfield in Spiegel. 1st and 10 from his own, one is Samanza. He'll send a man in motion from right to left. Samanza just going to take it himself and push up the middle. He'll gain about 1 or 2 yards just trying to get away from danger in that end zone. They'll say he got about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 3.
And that's about all you can do there. I mean, when you've got your tackles standing in the end zone, lined up in the end zone on that tapered start, you better believe that you're well into your own territory. Don't even risk handing the ball off at that point. Just move forward.
4 minutes remaining here in half number 1. Sloan in the backfield with Samanza under center, 2 wide receivers out left. Samanza takes the snap, hands it off to Sloan, who finds some real estate up the middle, powers through 1 tackle, gets up to about the 8-yard line. Another healthy gain for the Ball State run. It'll be 3rd and 3, now with 3.5 left in the second quarter. Ball is on the Ball State 8-yard line.
104 total yards now for Brayden Sloan. That last carry took him into the triple digits. He's having his best game of the season, in my opinion, so far, and we're only through the first half.
The numbers have been skewed well in favor of Western Michigan on the rushing side of things. 135 rushing yards for the Broncos compared to Ball State's now 41. Out of the shotgun is Samanza. Handoff goes to Sloan. Bounces off a couple of bodies before breaking out towards the left hash. Does he have the first down? Yes, he does. They'll spot him at around the 14-yard line. It's a Ball State first down. Check that, the 13-yard line. And now with under 3 minutes to play here in the second quarter, Ball State starting to get out of dangerous territory, and now you can start running some more creative plays.
Yeah, and you got to start thinking about clock management here. You lost that first timeout to the missed challenge. You know you have the 2-minute timeout coming up, but you got to start moving with some expediency.
The wide receiver out either way for Samanza. Out of the pistol with Sloan behind him in the backfield. 1st and 10 from his own 13. Samanza claps the hands, takes the snap, hands it off to Sloan. Tries to find a seam on that right side. No gap to run through. He's swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. And that was Mason Nelson, one of the defensive tackles, to get to him first. So 2nd and 10, no gain as the clock starts to tick down towards the 2-minute timeout.
I'm a little surprised we didn't see Ball State go to the air there. They had 45 seconds and only ran 1 play inside 3 minutes to go. A little bit of a head scratcher heading into the 2-minute timeout, but now you can get into the full force of your 2-minute drill with a full field ahead of you.
So it's a 2-minute timeout. And we will take a break as well with these two squads. Still 21 all here. It'll be 2nd and 9 for Ball State from their own 14-yard line when we come back. Let's see if Ball State can execute this 2-minute drill and take its first lead of the afternoon. They'll have to do it from deep within their own territory. Don't go anywhere. This is Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is SportsLink Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Indiana's top sports media school in 2024 by the Indiana Association of School Broadcasters.
This is Ball State SportsLink.
Hey, this is Caden Samanza, redshirt freshman quarterback for Ball State football. You're listening to Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Well, that man, Caden Samanza, has certainly had a heck of a day so far here as we've reached the 2-minute timeout here in the second quarter. We're even at 21 apiece from Muncie, Indiana, but looking at the numbers for Caden Samanza, 8 for 12 for 162 yards, a touchdown, a long of 72. He's only been sacked once, Sam. He has had a phenomenal day after a rocky game last week against James Madison.
Yeah, 3 picks against the Dukes last week on the road, but now he's responded brilliantly. He's got over a 207 QBR right now. I've been really impressed with his poise in the pocket, and even when he's flushed from the pocket, he has only taken that one sack. He's done a great job of distributing the ball, getting it out of his hands when he's had pressure, but not being stupid. He's maybe just made one mistake where there was some miscommunication. It's been a stellar day from him.
2 wide receivers out to the right for Samanza, 1 to the left. The man in the backfield to his left hip is Charlie Spiegel out of the gun. 2nd and 9 from his own 14. Samanza looking right, fires high over the head of his intended target in tight end Tanner Koziel down the far sideline. Incomplete. 3rd and 9 now with 1:56 left on the clock here in the second quarter.
Okay, we sung his praises and then he made another mistake, but that's okay. Basically what Samanza needs to do, obviously it's a 3rd and 9 here, so priority number 1 is pick up the first down, but Ball State needs to execute this 2-minute drill here. Got to be sharp from Samanza. It's got to be his best play of the day right here on this drive.
3 wide receivers out left for Samanza. Spiegel now to the right hip of Caden. He takes the snap out of the gun. Samanza firing downfield. This ball is caught by Koziel just short of the 25-yard line. I think they're going to give him the first down, and they will.
They are, just by the hair of his chinny chin. That was an impressive job by Koziel to fall forward, knowing that he had a man on his back to pick up that first down.
Clock now starting to trickle. Under 1:45 left in the first half. Samanza out of the gun. Sloan to his right hip. 2 wide receivers out right, 1 to the left. Samanza claps the hands, takes the snap, hands it off to Sloan, who's trying to find some kind of gap up the middle. Powers his way past the 25 towards the left hash. Whistles blow. We'll see how much they give Sloan. It looks like they'll give him a good 3 yards before a timeout is called by Western Michigan.
Timeout, Western Michigan. Their first charge timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
I think the reason that Western Michigan calls a timeout there is they recognize how few yards Sloan got on that second down. So they're banking on Ball State not converting, and the Broncos want to get the ball back because Ball State has still not put the ball into a position where they're going to pin Western Michigan super deep into their territory. It would take a really good punt. So Western feels that with about a minute and a half left to go, if their defense holds the Cardinals, they're going to get the ball back and a chance to possibly score.
Reset the game clock to 1 minute, 29 seconds. 1:29, please.
Looking at the numbers on Brayden Sloan, this is the 20th time in his career, combined between Eastern Kentucky and Ball State, that he has eclipsed 100 all-purpose yards. He's got 37 rushing and 72 receiving for 109 all-purpose yards. He has been phenomenal here, Sam. And the transfer from EKU and former FCS All-American making his mark here on Muncie early in his FBS career. Play action for Samanza, 2nd and 6 from his own 27. Samanza has to just throw it away near side. And flags thrown. And it looked like Tyson Lee pointed right at Samanza. Unsportsmanlike conduct for sure coming here.
I don't know, Dom. I think they're going to call an intentional grounding. I thought that was the,
I
thought that was the reason that he pointed at him in the first place.
Well, where my head went.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense.
Wow.
58. Taunting. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
So that is where my head went, Sam. That could have been intentional grounding, but with the way that Tyson Lee pointed at Samanza and then the flag came right after, I thought for sure that was going to be some kind of taunting penalty, and it was. That's not smart there from Tyson Lee, and that's surprising for this Western Michigan team that only has 18 total penalties on the year coming into this one, the least penalized team in the MAC. So out of the shotgun, 1st and 10 from Samanza from his own 42, firing downfield, intended for Magwood, just out of his reach, far side at the 40. It'll be 2nd and 10 now with 1:20 left in the second quarter.
And this is where I think Samanza can improve his game the most, is in these 2-minute drill situations, because that ultimately is a nice throw, Dom. He led his receiver in Magwood, but he just led him a little too far. we saw just a couple of plays ago where he overthrew his top target in Tanner Koziel. He's just got to dial in and not let the ball go so quickly on these 2-minute drill situations. Just be the same quarterback that you were 5 minutes ago, and you'll be just fine.
2nd and 10 from his own 42. Samanza with a man in the backfield. Claps the hands, slings it off. There's Sloan past the 40, now past the 45, outside the numbers right. Barreling towards the line to gain. Did he get there? We'll see. They might mark him just short. Still waiting on a signal, and they will mark him just short, so it'll be 3rd and 1. Now inside Bronco territory. Samanza out of the shotgun, claps the hands, takes the snap. Lobs one up down the field, intended for Sloan at around the 35-yard line, outside the numbers right. It's over his head and into the Broncos sideline. So now 4th and 1, and Ball State in desperate need of a first down here with under a minute to play in the second quarter.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about, Tom. I mean, he had Sloan downfield. He was running the route correctly, but he had a man draped all over him. So why not just go through your progressions or at least wait for Sloan to see if he can't get a step on him before letting that ball go? Now you put yourself in an even tougher position if you're Caden Samanza on 4th and 1, just barely in Western territory. This is a do-or-die play here in the first half.
Samanza goes under center with Sloan behind him in the backfield. No wide receivers out either way. Samanza takes the snap, hands it off to Sloan, who is blown up in the backfield. And Tate Hollick was the first one to get there right on the safety blitz. A turnover on downs for Ball State, and Western Michigan has a chance to capitalize on this with 49 seconds left in the second quarter.
I love that defensive play call from first-year defensive coordinator Scott Power. He sent Hollick knowing that he was going as fast as he could to whoever the ball carrier was. In that case, it was Sloan. If it wouldn't have been Sloan and the Cardinals would have passed, that would have been Samanza. You'd rather Sloan get blown up than Samanza, but goodness, great read from Hollick. He executed that play spectacularly.
Western Michigan now with a chance to take the lead back going into half. Wolf out of the gun, a wide receiver either way. Now one out to the right. Wolf, a lot of time out of the shotgun. Looking right, has his tight end in Bosma. The pass is caught outside the numbers right and towards the Ball State sideline for a gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 4 with 43 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
And now Western Michigan can slow things down knowing that that clock was stopped. Stopped at 43 seconds.
Salam in the backfield, play action. Wolf a lot of time,
nice.
And the pocket collapses. Riley Tolsma brings him down.
That is an excellent response from Tolsma and that Ball State defense.
Timeout, Western Michigan. Their second charge timeout of the half will be a 30-second timeout.
Ball State's defense trying to get this crowd back on its feet. Cardinal faithful starting to get into it here. 3rd and 4 now for Western Michigan. At their own 49-yard line. So let's see if Ball State's defense can come up big again. After the offense unable to capitalize on 4th and 1. Both teams just playing ping pong with each other here early in this one.
They are, Domin, with as flamboyant as that first quarter was on the offensive side of the ball, 21-14 at the end of the first. Now we've got a tie ball game at 21 apiece. This second quarter has been a lot more methodic. The teams have settled in. The defenses have started playing better. It's physical MAC football like we might have come to expect. This has been such a fun first half to watch.
3rd and 11. Wolf with a couple of receivers either way. Claps the hands, takes the snap, looks left, fires quickly, and this pass is complete for the tight end Bosma, who's wrapped up and then taken down. The first one to get there was Willazon Yates, and then he was helped out by Jordan Coleman. Still short of the line to gain is Western Michigan. It'll be 4th and 5 with 16 seconds left in the half, and will Western Michigan use its final timeout or let the clock tick down? We'll see what head coach Lance Taylor wants to do in his second season. And Western Michigan is just going to let this clock run down to the 2-second mark before using their final timeout. So one last play, and that was smart there because this is for sure going to be the last play of the half. And Western gets a chance to take a deep shot, potentially to the end zone.
Yeah, I really think this is a smart decision in terms of the play calling from Lance Taylor. It's a no-holds-barred type of play. There's not going to be any repercussions if this doesn't go the way you think it is, even though it's 4th down. Ball State's just going to probably drop back here in coverage, drop as many guys back as they can, prevent that deep shot, and see if they can't go into the half with this thing tied up at 21 apiece.
The Ball State defense back out, so is the Western Michigan offense. 2 wide receivers either way for Hayden Wolf. He's got Abdus Salam in the backfield with him. He's at his left hip, and now Ball State wants a timeout.
Timeout, Ball State. Their second charge timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
I think Jeff Knoll's reasoning here behind this timeout, Tom, is that was not the package they expected on the offensive side for Western Michigan. He thought he'd maybe see trips to the right, maybe one to the left, something like that, but there was a man in the backfield. There were only 2 out to the left. It didn't seem like Western Michigan was lining up for that deep shot, so just trying to talk things over here defensively for Ball State. In case they don't see that deep shot, maybe Western Michigan tries a lateral, tries to get cute here at the end of the first half. Jeff Knoll's just trying to re-emphasize the tackling that Ball State has struggled with. Just try and break up this pass in whatever form it comes as.
Still 4th and 5 for the Broncos. 2 men well deep for the Cardinals. It's D.D. Snyder and then Derek D.J. Fields near the end zone. Wolf takes the snap under a lot of pressure, and Darren Connolly gets to him at the 45-yard line for a huge sack to end the first half. Western Michigan's offensive line screaming at each other right now in frustration. Ball State able to stop anything that the Broncos had planned, as Western Michigan cannot come up with points late in the second quarter, and this ball game is knotted up going into the locker room at 21-all.
Unbelievable finish to that first half, and you said it, Tom. Jacob Gideon was screaming at the rest of that Western Michigan offensive line. How do you give up a sack before the ball's even let loose? Cardinals hold the Broncos scoreless in the second quarter after giving up 21 in the first. This is a phenomenal game so far. I cannot wait to see where this second half takes us.
What a barn burner we have had from Muncie so far. 21-all between Western Michigan and Ball State. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Brayden Carroll and Sam Neiger will bring you the Cardinal football halftime show. It's a heck of a game and a heck of a action matchup between the Broncos and the Cardinals. 21 apiece as we head into the halftime break here on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Ranked number 2 in the nation for sports media by the Broadcast Education Association.
This is Ball State SportsLink.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Doc maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paintwork on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptonin.com. At munciesuites.hamptonin.com.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State sports with SportsLink Digital.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State Sports with SportsLink Digital.
What up, Cardinals fans? This is Kyle Kelly, redshirt junior cornerback for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Welcome live from Schumann Stadium. It's the Cardinal football halftime show here on SL Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. 21-21 all. Ball State and Western Michigan knotted up at halftime. I'm Brayden Carroll, Sam Neiger alongside. We're just about 15 minutes away from the start of the second half, and what a fiery first half, especially the first quarter. 21 points from Western Michigan, 14 points from Ball State. We were talking about how the Ball State offense looked a little sluggish in their last two non-conference road games. Were able to put up points against Central Michigan. It feels like here in MAC play, they've been able to turn it up a notch.
They definitely have, Brayden. That first half was an absolute movie. And really what jumped out at me was Ball State's ability to not only put points up on the board, but to make some stops defensively, holding Western Michigan scoreless in that second quarter after giving up 21 points in the first. It was a completely different Ball State defense with a lot more life, and that happens when you have big plays. I look at the kickoff return for a touchdown from Malcolm Gilly. I see some big one-yard stops on the goal line for the Ball State defense with Western Michigan threatening to score. Really, it was those big plays for Ball State that have kind of flipped the script and given this team the life that it needs to be sitting at a tie ball game at halftime.
And you mentioned big plays. Brayden Sloan has been huge in some big plays in this one. 81 yards on 2 receptions, good for a 40.5 average per reception. 122 total yards. He has looked phenomenal in this one.
Yeah, and it was that big 72-yard run after the catch. It started it nearly in their own end zone on a 3rd and long inside the 10, and then Sloan just turned on the Jets off the screen, up the sideline. He's been stellar. Even when he's not receiving the ball, his run game has been pretty solid as well. 11 carries, 41 yards. He's only averaging 3.6 yards a carry, but really, if you give him the ball 3 times, he picks up a first down for you. So this is a guy in Brayden Sloan that they have got to get the ball to early and often in this second half. Make this Western Michigan defense tired. You can tell there's some frustration with the Broncos that things weren't happening in the second quarter that were in the first. They weren't necessarily getting those big explosive plays like they were in the first. They weren't getting those big stops defensively. It really did seem like the tide of this game shifted as soon as that first 15 minutes ticked off the clock.
And we talked about the frustration of Caden Samanza after last week. 3 interceptions against James Madison. Well, in this one, he's looking great so far. 10 of 17, 181 yards, touchdown, no interceptions. That huge 72-yard reception to Sloan earlier. He has made a great bounce-back game here today.
Yeah, he's got the longest single pitch and catch since Drew Plitt was last here for Ball State. There are only 2. There are the top 2 longest receptions in Ball State history since the turn of the century, and they both come against Western Michigan. It was that 72-yard pitch and catch from Samanza to Sloan that resulted in a play like that. But let's be honest, he's having a really solid day. 10 for 17, 181 yards. It's really been all about Caden Samanza. One thing that I think he has to change heading into the second half, if this game is going to stay as close as it is right now, Brayden, Samanza has got to be able to execute down the stretch. We saw the majority of his mistakes come in that 2-minute drill to end the first half that ultimately resulted in a turnover on downs and almost letting Western Michigan get into field goal range. If Samanza gets in a similar spot in the second half where he's got to be clicking and he's got to be firing on all cylinders inside 2 minutes, he has got to be the same quarterback in the last 2 minutes that he was through the first 13 minutes of a quarter.
And it feels like not just Samanza has stepped up to the challenge of MAC play here in this one. It's been all 3 facets of the game for Ball State. Offense has been churning butter so far. The special teams, that was an electric 97-yard kickoff return in the first quarter by Malcolm Gilly, while the team was down 2 scores early, a score that they really needed.
They really did. I mean, this was a Ball State team that was defeated. We were defeated up here in the press box. We said, how on earth does this game you sit at 14-0 so early in the first quarter? Ball State already had a turnover inside their own red zone that resulted in a touchdown. We had already seen Jaden Nixon start to get rolling, and give him credit. He's got 2 of the 3 touchdowns for Western Michigan. But all in all, the Cardinals were able to flip the script because of that kickoff return for a touchdown for Malcolm Gilly. He said, why don't I do this myself? Credit to the special teams from Ball State. They got some good blocks. They opened up the path for him to be able to take it to the house. But it was the speed of Gilly and the will to get there to breathe life back into this Ball State team that has led them to this point.
Then the third and final facet of this game for Ball State. The defense was hot to go on a goal-to-go situation for Western Michigan at the end of that first half. Right down there in goal line position at the 1-yard line, 2 straight times, 3rd and goal and 4th and goal. The Cardinal defense stops Western Michigan and keeps the momentum with them. That could end up being a game-defining stop there.
It really could, and credit to you for the hot-to-go reference there, but that was the best team defense I've seen from Ball State all season. That is a back-against-the-wall type of situation with the game tied, knowing that you could give up the lead again, and the defense held tough 2 straight plays with the ball inside the 1-yard line, and the defense held tough. Maybe you could question Western Michigan. I know you told us off the air you didn't necessarily like that they came out in that T formation and then tried to run the ball to the outside rather than up the middle. Yeah, you can question that heading into halftime, but really any team at the FBS level should be able to get a half yard in 2 plays. Western Michigan wasn't able to do so, and give Ball State's defense credit. They have been tough as nails all afternoon long.
They have been, but one thing that they have struggled at so far in this game is the tackling. A lot of bounces off, missed tackles here from this Western Michigan, especially the running game from Western Michigan. They've been able to get some big chunk plays simply off Ball State missing tackles.
Yeah, and open field tackling is always a tough thing for teams to execute well. But when you have this 3-pronged attack between Jalen Buckley, Zahir Abdus-Salam, and Jaden Nixon on the ground game for Western Michigan, that means there's going to be a lot of speed. That means there's going to be a lot of fresh legs anytime a running back receives the football. And that puts a lot of pressure on the secondary for Ball State. Jordan Coleman missed some tackles, D.D. Snyder, even Keontae Newsom, who is like the definitive leader for this Ball State team at the linebacker position. He missed some tackles. So certainly that's going to be a point of emphasis for Jeff Knowles if he wants to get his squad to the best point that they can be here in the second half defensively.
We're going to take a quick break here on the Cardinal Halftime Show. Next up, we'll preview what's going to happen here in the next half, give some keys to the game for both of these squads. Knotted up at 21. It should be a fun one here.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Your home for live Ball State sports.
Hey, this is Katie Samanza, redshirt freshman quarterback for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Welcome back to Muncie, Indiana. 20-21 all here between Ball State and Western Michigan, as we're just about 6 minutes away from the kickoff of the second half. I'm Brayden, Carroll, Sam Neiger joined alongside. Looking at some other games here in MAC play that have concluded so far. Only one, Northern Illinois taking down Massachusetts 34-20 to improve to 3-2. That's an out-of-conference win, but it will be an in-conference win come next season when UMass joins the MAC. And they've played 4 MAC opponents so far. Haven't beaten any of them, but credit to them. Many close games within that bunch.
Yeah, they're hanging tough. I think UMass is going to fit into the Mid-American Conference just fine. We've chatted about it since the pregame. There's no games in the Mid-American Conference that aren't close, that aren't within 2 scores, and you see it. Even though Northern Illinois won by 14, UMass held as close as possible. They had the lead heading into halftime, 13-7. Credit to the Huskies for getting the out-of-conference win and making the MAC look good, at least for the moment. But I'm interested to see how well UMass does fit in, especially with the tough travel schedule they're going to have starting next year.
Especially with the lack of football success that we've seen from UMass in recent years. Can they bring some sort of stability into the MAC, the second go-round in the MAC at that?
I think it's going to be more of a basketball edition than a football edition, but certainly you'd like to see the Minutemen rise to the occasion.
Absolutely. And back to this game here, 21 all. Anthony Sambucci is a guy that we've wanted to see a lot here. He's got 3 tackles so far, and then on the receiving end, 19 yards, 2 receptions. You'd like to see him get a little more active in this offense.
Right, we've seen some shifty plays from him. We saw a really impressive 11-yard first down pickup where he threw on the shiftiness, turned on the jets. He makes guys miss. He's just electric when he gets the ball in his hands, but he just hasn't had the ball in his hands that much. Credit to Ball State for shutting him down, but that's got to be the first guy Hayden Wolf tries to get fired up here in this second half, because when Sambucci has the ball in his hands, this Western Michigan offense is more dangerous.
He is one of those players, an X factor for Western Michigan. And their running game is a huge X factor as well. So far we've seen 118 yards on the ground, 81 yards from the Jet in Nixon, and 2 touchdowns from him as well. If Western Michigan wants to break away and come out with a win, their running game is going to have to end up on point here in the second half.
They certainly are, and they've got to be able to convert in those short-yarded situations. They tried to give the ball to their main back in Jalen Buckley, and he wasn't able to convert on that goal-to-go situation. Now you got to think, hey, do we start giving the ball to the hot hand who's already got 2 touchdowns on the day in Jaden Nixon? I think he's going to get a lot more burn in this second half. It'll be the combination of him and the reigning MAC Freshman of the Year, Jalen Buckley. You throw Zahir Abdul-Salam in there, and maybe this Ball State defense is going to start getting tired of trying to bring these Broncos down.
And a big question for Ball State's offense is Caden Samanza going to be able to keep up this pace? 10 of 17 so far. He's putting together one of his more stable performances this season. Can he keep it up in a strong second half?
I think he'd like to see himself be even more on point in the second half than he was in the first. I talked about those late mistakes in the first half, of course, right after we hyped him up, but I think he's going to recenter himself at the halftime break, try and be as on point as possible here to start the third quarter, maybe put this thing to bed if possible.
And really, when you think about this matchup so far, Ball State headed into this one 9.5 underdogs. 21-all. This is a success for Ball State. You're in a position here we talked about in pregame. This was one of those games where Ball State's matched up well, and they've proven so.
Say what you will about the lines, but I think in my opinion, if Ball State doesn't come away with a win here today, they're going to be disappointed regardless of what the lines say. This is a must-win for both sides.
We're going to take one more break here on the Cardinal Halftime Show. Next up, it'll be Dominick, Liacone, Sam Neiger, Ryan Stojetz on the call for the second half of what should be an electric MAC finish. 21-all. When we hit the other side, it's time for 30 more minutes of football. Thanks for listening to the Cardinal Halftime Show on SL Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptoninn.com. At munciesuites.hamptoninn.com.
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Hey, this is Tanner Koziel, junior tight end here with Ball State Football. Thanks for tuning in to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. This is your home for all things Ball State football.
Just about set for half number 2 of this one. 21-all Western Michigan and Ball State here from Schumann Stadium on Family Weekend. Thanks for joining us on this absolutely delightful Saturday afternoon in Muncie, Indiana. Dominick, Liacone, Sam Neiger, Ryan Stojetz down on the sidelines, and Brayden Carroll, our host and producer, doing an awesome job. As always, thank you, Brayden, for that halftime update. So, Ball State will have to kick it away here to start half number 2. Western Michigan will get the football from moving from right to left. All right, Sam, we talked about it a little bit, but just a huge difference in quarters between the first and second for Western Michigan. All the momentum for the Broncos in the first quarter, but Ball State really did a nice job of settling into this one.
They certainly did. The defense seemed a little more poised in that second quarter than they did in the first. And really, it wasn't the defense's fault on that second touchdown. Yes, they did give it up, but in all honesty, it was about the field position. It was about the turnover on the offensive side for Ball State. They gave Western Michigan the ball on the 10-yard line. They scored rather quickly, but in all honesty, Dom, it was the ability of the defense to respond to that, to recognize that that was out of their control. They looked a lot more poised. They looked a lot more physical, and we'll see if they can continue that into the third and fourth quarters as well.
Carson Holmer kicks it off to get us going. From his own 5-yard line, it's Nixon. He's now past the 15 to the 20, now to the 30. Barreled over by Jack Beebe. Just past the 30-yard line is Nixon for a healthy return, and Hayden Wolf and company on offense will get things going for Western, trying to give the Broncos the lead yet again.
I want to just touch on some specific stats in terms of the first versus the second quarter for Western Michigan. First quarter, 104 yards on the ground for the Broncos, only 14 yards on the ground in the second quarter. That's the big difference. That run game that we saw that was so prevalent early, it slowed down in the second half. They have got to right that ship if they want to find more offensive success.
Jalen Buckley back into the game in the backfield with Wolf, who's out of the shotgun. 1st and 10 from his own 31-yard line. Claps the hands, takes the snap, looks left. That pass is caught by Womack, who then is thrown to the ground by the Ball State defense, and Joey Stemler was the first one to get to him. Outside the numbers, left at the 35-yard line. 2nd and 6 now as the clock starts to roll here with 14.5 to go in the third quarter.
Look, Dom, we've sung the praises of Caden Samanza all day, but it has been a consistent afternoon for Hayden Wolf. 10 of 12 right now, 117 yards. He looks sharp.
Out of the pistol, Buckley gets the handoff once again. And after breaking a couple of tackles, Buckley is able to scamper past the 35-yard line. And I don't know about you, Sam, but even though Ball State has gotten better on the defensive side of the ball today, this Ball State defense's tackling has just been really gossamer throughout the entirety of the season.
It has. It's been light. It's been airy. They haven't necessarily been as physical as you were expecting, Dom. The big difference was that goal line stop for Ball State. That was about as strong of a unit in terms of tackling as I've seen.
3rd and 4, Wolf out of the shotgun from his own 37, looking downfield, fires. That one is complete. Right up the middle, he's got Kenny Womack. Picks up his 3rd reception of the ball game, and the chains move just outside of Ball State territory. Is Western Michigan quickly out of the gun. 2 wide receivers either way. 1st and 10 from his own 45. Pass is caught by Sam Bucci on the near side, outside the numbers left to the 45 and right at the 44. He's taken out of bounds by Keontae Newsome. Jordan Coleman was also in pursuit. And Western Michigan just inside Ball State territory at the 46.
That's what the Broncos were lacking in the second quarter as well. That hurry-up offense that punched Ball State in the mouth through the first 2 drives, it wasn't there in the second quarter. We saw the hurry-up there, and now they're starting to string together some really solid chunk plays.
Out of the pistol, it's Wolf with Buckley behind him. A man in motion and Womack from left to right. Buckley takes the handoff up the middle, trying to find a seam, and he does past the 45-yard line, right at the 43 for a Western Michigan first down. Back-to-back first downs on this drive here for Western Michigan.
These offenses are starting to look really similar. They're trying to get chunk plays through the air and then just trusting those running backs to get short yardage situations for you. And at that time, it was Buckley who was able to do so.
1st and 10 now at the Cardinal 44. Wolf out of the gun again. Takes the snap. Play action. Wolf with the pocket collapsing is going to take a deep shot down the left side of the field. Wide open to Dudon into the end zone. Touchdown, Western Michigan. A 44-yard strike from Hayden Wolf right into a very light pocket. And Western Michigan leads once again, 27-21 Broncos.
On an absolute rope, spectacular route from Malik Dudon. The defense got caught just a little bit out of position. It was the speed of Dudon that got in there. Holy smokes, if Western Michigan had pulled that off in the first half, Ball State might have been left in the dust by now.
Zurek on to kick the PAT. And it's good. Western Michigan 28, Ball State 21. And just like we saw in the first quarter, Sam, Western Michigan is able to put points on the board very early.
Yeah, 6 plays, 69 yards in just 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Broncos have to be fired up about that, but a lot of football left to play for the Cardinals. Your defense played so good towards the end of the first half, no reason you can't rechannel that.
12-13 left here in quarter number 3. Broncos 28, Cardinals 21. When we come back, we'll have more. It's Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
Hey, this is Katie Samanza, redshirt freshman quarterback for Ball State football. You're listening to Sports Link Digital Radio presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
13 to play here in the third. Broncos lead the Cardinals 28-21 after the 44-yard passing touchdown from Hayden Wolf to Malik Dedudon for Malik's first score of the season, and a new long for Dedudon.
We kind of mentioned this at the start of the first half as well, Dom. You know, Western Michigan comes out, they strike first, they put Ball State with their backs against the wall. Now the Cards got to respond. Last time they went down by 7 early in a half, they turned the ball over on their own 10-yard line. You can't have that here.
Boot meets leather. It's a chip shot towards the left side of the field. That'll be taken into the 20 by Nick Munson. Breaks one tackle past the 30, now up to the 35. Still on his feet before the whistles finally blow at around the 35-yard line. Outside the numbers left. Ball State with some pretty decent field positioning here to start, Sam. That was a chip shot, not intended for Gilly because Gilly lined up on the right side of the field. Again, as Brayden mentioned in the halftime report, a 98-yard kick return for Gilly, and Western Michigan wanting none of it.
Yeah, Zurak's just doing everything he can to keep the ball out of the hands of Gilly. Even if it means a chip shot like that, they'll take it, even if it gives Ball State good field position.
1st and 10 for Samanza from his own 34. Hands it off to Sloan. Nope, he keeps it himself and dishes it off to Tanner Koziel, who's past the 45, now the 50, towards the numbers right. Flags are thrown, and we'll see what it's on. Not going to assume anything here, but that might have been a horse collar on the tackle unless the Ball State offense is moving back.
Well, Liacone immediately pointed towards that Ball State line like there had been a holding of some kind, and the Cardinals are backing up. I think this is going to go against the team in black.
After the completion and during the run, holding, offense, number 8. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
And wouldn't you know, that is on Malcolm Gilly. So the Cardinals will be backed up now. First and 7 from their own 37. And now the whistles blow. Yeah, I was confused too. I don't know if
the chains. I think they were just trying to get the chains reset there. I was looking at the chain gain over on the far side. And they could not necessarily. They didn't have it planted into the ground firmly.
11 and a half to go in the third. Samanza play action, rolling out left. Dishes it off quickly to Koziel up the middle. Past the left hash mark. He's got it past the 50. Scampering up to the 49-yard line into Bronco territory for a big first down. That penalty does not come back to haunt the Cardinals. 1st and 10 into Western Michigan territory.
That is an underratedly phenomenal first down that time from Samanza. He had Mason Nelson, the big defensive tackle, barreling down right in his face. He had to sling the ball sidearm around his body to get it to Koziel.
Under center as Samanza pitches it out right for Sloan, who's past the 50, bounces off one tackle, then another. At around the 46-yard line is hunted down by Mason Nelson. There is a flag on the play. Already 2 early penalties here in the second half for 2 of the least penalized teams in the Mid-American Conference so far this year. The officials huddle up right where the ball was stopped, and here comes the call.
During the run, personal foul, illegal block below the waist, defense.
Wow.
Number 13. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
That's the first-year transfer out of Tennessee Tech in Naquan Washington, the cornerback. That's an automatic first down, and now well into Bronco territory is Ball State. It'll be 1st and 10 from the WMU 31-yard line.
And obviously not what you want if you're Naquan Washington, but really just kind of an unfortunate play there. He was just trying to turn it around upfields and upended the man who he got the penalty blown on against him.
Out of the pistol, 1st and 10, Samanza hands it off to Sloan to the left, and he is stopped just behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of about a half a yard. They'll still say 2nd and 10. No, they will say it is a loss. So a loss of 1, 2nd and 11 from the Bronco 32-yard line now with just over 10 to play in the third. Samanza with 2 wide receivers out to his right. Spiegel in the backfield on his left tip. Samanza out of the shotgun. Claps the hands, takes the snap, looks right. A lot of time, fires up the middle. It's incomplete for Ty Robinson, but flags fly. A lot of contact before the catch. It was in and out of the hands of Robinson. Let's see if it's defensive pass interference. The Broncos already trying to plead their case to the officials.
Holding. Defense, number 1. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
It's a hold on Western Michigan. Another automatic first down for Ball State.
I like that call a lot better than pass interference there, because by the time that ball was thrown, Liacone was just kind of draped over Robinson. I didn't necessarily see anything that would have warranted a pass interference call, but prior to that throw, there was probably a little grab on the jersey there. So another mistake from Western Michigan that's allowed Ball State to march up the field.
Under 10 to play in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from the Bronco 22. Simonza and company setting up for this Ball State offense. 2 wide receivers out to the left. Out of the pistol is Simonza. Sloan behind him. The pitch goes to Sloan, and he'll throw it. Looking wide open, Christian Abney. Touchdown right in front of the left pylon. You've got to be kidding me. Brayden Sloan does it all.
Just a phenomenal play design. Never in a million years would Western Michigan have expected this. You got your running back throwing to the backup tight end off the pitch in Christian Abney. That's his first touchdown of the season. Caught the Broncos completely off guard, and that's going to be a highlight reel play for this Cardinals this season.
Unreal. Brayden Sloan already over 100 all-purpose yards, then throws for a touchdown. Corville on for the extra point. And it's through the uprights to tie this ball game up at 28 all. Unreal.
I don't know that this game can get any more exciting, Dom. We have seen everything here through just about a half and 5 minutes.
Timeout on the field.
We'll take a break. Ball State and Western Michigan knotted up at 28 apiece with 9:50 to go here in the third quarter. Don't go anywhere. We've got a good finish brewing here in Muncie. We are all square at Schumann Stadium here on Family Weekend. It's Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptoninn.com. At munciesuites.hamptoninn.com.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
You're listening to Sports.
Hey, this is Simonza, redshirt freshman quarterback for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Back here inside Schumann Stadium, 9:50 left here in the third quarter. We're all knotted up at 28 apiece. The penalties have certainly started to ramp up here, despite these two teams being two of the top 3 least penalized teams in the Mid-American Conference. And for more on that, we send it down to Ryan Stojetz.
It's very interesting to see Western Michigan commit full defensive penalties on the same drive, because that's just not something they've been. In the Broncos' 4 games of this season, they've done a good job staying on their own way. Coming up this week, Western Michigan had the 3rd penalties per game rate among FBS teams, averaging 3.5 penalties per game.
Yeah, Ryan, it is interesting, especially for a team that is so disciplined under second-year head coach Lance Taylor, who preaches discipline. He was an 02 Alabama graduate, coached under Nick Saban for a bit, who, of course, we know Nick Saban loves to preach discipline and was so hard on his guys for taking what he would call nonsense penalties, and now you're starting to see maybe things pile up for Western Michigan, and I'm sure that's frustrating Coach Taylor.
Yeah, I think Saban would have hated those 2 penalties, and I'm sure Coach Taylor does as well. But he's done a great job with this program in his 2 years, and that's not going to be a pattern we see a lot of.
Homer with a chip shot that goes to the right side between the hash and the numbers to Sambucci, who calls for a fair catch at around the 12-yard line.
So that ball is going to get moved up to the 25 since it was inside the 20 when the fair catch was made.
Smart play there from Sambucci, who recognizes, hey, I don't have any crease to run here. Let's just take what is basically a touchback.
Basically.
9:50 left here in the third, 28 apiece between these two teams. Wolf out of the pistol. The man in the backfield is Nixon behind him. Wolf claps the hands, takes the snap, hands it off to Nixon, who bounces out to the left. The ball comes free. A scramble for it on the ground. Who's got the football? Ball State does. Another forced fumble and another fumble recovery for Ball State. Looks like it was George Udo, the sniper, in on all the action, and Ball State is now right near the red zone in Western Michigan territory, looking to take its first lead of the afternoon.
It was Udo who delivered that first hit. Ball popped out and right into the breadbasket of Jordan Coleman, who came away with it. If it had been behind the line of scrimmage, it would have been a pick. It literally went from the hands of Buckley straight into the hands of Coleman. Ball State fired up right now, as they should be, with a chance to take their first lead.
2 men in the backfield for Samanza. Now they shift either way. A wide receiver out to the right, a couple to the left. Samanza claps the hands and takes the snap. 1st and 10 from the Bronco 27. The handoff goes to Sloan, who's taken down to the backfield, but flags fly.
Yeah, this is going to be a face mask. Sloan was immediately thrown down from the mask of his helmet, so that's another nonsense penalty from Western Michigan when you could just make the tackle.
Defense, number 54. Penalties half distance to the goal. Automatic, first down.
That's Mason Nelson, the defensive tackle out of Howell, Michigan. Half the distance to the goal for the Cardinals.
Wow.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line.
Half the distance to the goal is just unbelievable. I mean, that is a brutal penalty for Western Michigan. And now the Cards in the red zone, a place where they're so good. Western Michigan just shooting themselves in the foot right now.
1st and 10 from the Bronco 14. Samanza takes the snap out of the gun. Play action, fires up the middle, tried to get Koziel in the end zone, but that pass is broken up. That was a heck of a window that Samanza tried to throw through. Liacone, one of the cornerbacks, right in the face of Koziel before he could make the catch, and it looked like Aaron Wooford was there as well.
Yeah, Cone was on the back of Koziel that time, so there wasn't a linebacker lined up on him. It was good coverage. Samanza had to let that ball go when he did, otherwise he risked an interception. I'm okay with that incompletion.
2 wide receivers out to the left for Samanza. Sloan in the backfield with him to his right hip. Samanza claps the hands, takes the snap. The handoff goes to Sloan. Gets through 1 tackle, and now finds contact past the 10-yard line at around the 7 before he's wrapped up and taken down. A nice gain from Brayden Sloan to inch the Cardinals even closer to pay dirt. It's 3rd and 3.
44 yards on the ground for Sloan now. He's having a great day. Obviously, we talked about that 72-yard pitch and catch earlier, but when he's got the ball in his hands off a handoff, this guy is dangerous. He's slippery, and he's a hard runner.
Under 9 to play here from the shoe in quarter number 3. Samanza out of the gun. Pickett comes in motion from right to left. Samanza claps the hands, takes the snap, looks towards the end zone, now scampers. He'll try to find space up the middle, lunging forward just short of the goal line, but it's 1st and goal now, Cardinals. Samanza went through his progressions, couldn't find anyone open, and said, you know what, I've got enough room up the middle, let's take it myself. And it's a new set of downs for Ball State right at the 1-yard line.
High IQ football play that time from Samanza until it was time to take the hit. Just slide. You know, getting upended and spun around by 2 big defensive guys, 2 big linebackers, is not going to earn you an extra yard. Just slide and take the yardage where you can get it.
8 minutes to play in the third. They'll mark Samanza and company at the 2. Whistles blow. Timeout, Western Michigan. Lance Taylor and his crew want to talk things over, trying to see if they can get a huge stop on the goal line, just as Ball State did earlier in this one. It'll be a full media timeout, so we'll take it with the teams. 7:57 left here in the third quarter. Ball State 28, Western Michigan 28. Ball State threatening first and goal from the Bronco 2-yard line. More action when we come back. Let's see if Ball State can take its first lead of the afternoon. It's Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts, right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
Hey, this is Keontae Newsom, senior linebacker with Ball State football. Thanks for tuning in to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. This is your home for all things Ball State sports.
Western Michigan 28, Ball State 28. But the Cardinals threatening and knocking on the doorstep of pay dirt. It'll be first and goal from the Bronco 2-yard line for Caden Samanza and his offense with 7:57 left in quarter number 3. Thanks for joining us on this family weekend Saturday afternoon from Muncie, Indiana. Here inside Schumann Stadium, Dominick Liacone with Sam Neiger, Ryan Stojetz on the sidelines, and up in the booth with us doing the hosting and producing is Brayden Carroll. Some fun festivities during the break. It looks like Tanner Koziel's mom actually did a punt pass kick challenge, almost kicked a 40-yard field goal, but rolled into the end zone.
Almost as generous. That was...
It's family weekend. You got to be nice.
We'll give her the credit. We'll give her the credit.
From the 2-yard line, Samanza under the center. Fakes the handoff, passes it towards the right corner. Touchdown, Cardinals. It's Christian Abney again.
That's Drew Hughes.
It is Drew Hughes.
Are you
the
serious?
nose tackle
comes in on offense.
Unreal. That's the first touchdown of his career. I don't think he was even expecting to score a touchdown in his time here.
That's brilliantly designed. He came in as part of that big package for short yardage situations. He's 6'2", he weighs 302 pounds. They stick him over there as that kind of extra tackle. And then he just bounces outside for a little hook route toward the end zone. Samanza hit him perfectly. How about it? We have actually seen everything thrown at us this game, Dom.
Corville's extra point is good. Ball State has its first lead of the afternoon, 35-28, in favor of the Cardinals with 7:52 to play here in the third quarter. You take a look at that drive, 4 plays for 28 yards. It lasts just 1 minute and 52 seconds. A 2-yard pitch and catch for Drew Hughes. Unbelievable.
Not something we'd ever thought we'd say, but how about it? I mean, Ball State is pulling out all the stops. We've seen Drew Hughes score a touchdown. We've seen Brayden Sloan throw to Christian Abney for a touchdown. Caden Samanza having a great day in his own right, 13 for 21 with 2 touchdowns. I mean, this is just some of the best offense we've seen from the Cardinals in a few years, in my opinion, Dom.
Ball State trying to get revenge on the Broncos for the last 2 seasons. Last year, Kalamazoo used a 21-point second quarter to defeat the Cardinals 42-24, and then the year prior, a heartbreaker in Muncie for Ball State.
Ugh.
The Broncos took that matchup 37-30, used a 16-point fourth quarter. Short kick here from Homer, another fair catch called just short of the 20-yard line, so.
Number 92 and number 5 for the receiving team both signaled for a fair catch. By rule, ball will be placed at the 25-yard line.
Okay, so that
All right.
explains that. I was curious to see what would come of it because 2 different players signaled for a fair catch, but Western Michigan has won back-to-back games here in Muncie in the last 2 appearances here on Schumann Stadium turf. The last time Western Michigan won 3 consecutive games was a while back. Wolf play action, looking deep down the field right. It's incomplete, intended for Womack, way over his head. Womack wants a flag. It's not going to fly. But to go back on that point, actually, what I meant to say was in the 53-year history of this matchup, Western Michigan has won consecutive games on Ball State's turf just 3 times.
Yeah.
In
Wow.
1971 and 76, 2014 and 2016, and 1998 and 2000.
That'd be impressive if they were able to put on that performance, but it's going to take this offense getting back to what it had in the first quarter.
Wolf out of the gun. It's 2nd and 10. The handoff goes to Buckley, who cuts to the right now, back up the middle towards the right hash, and he'll gain about 9 before being dragged down by D.D. Snyder. 3rd and very short, but it is 3rd down nevertheless. Ball State's defense trying to come up big. Would not be surprised if Western Michigan just tries a short run here to move the chains.
Maybe what they should have done when it was a goal-to-go situation, just put this ball right up the gut of the defense, get your 1 yard, move the sticks.
Wolf out of the gun, 3rd and 1 from his own 34. A wide receiver out to his right. The handoff goes to Buckley, bounces off 1 tackle, then another, and is finally taken down at the 40-yard line. Liacone Yates was the first to get to him. Helped down by Jordan Coleman as well, but another Western Michigan first down. 1st and 10 from their own 40 are the Broncos with under 7 to play in the 3rd.
And that's why Buckley garnered freshman All-American honors last year. His ability to never be brought down by the first guy. He is always bouncing off a tackle. He's always making guys miss.
Play action, Wolf, a quick slant over to the right. It's caught and then immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. It was Womack. No gain for the Broncos. Actually, they'll say a gain of 2. So with under 6.5 now, it's 2nd and 8. Broncos at their own 38. Out of the gun is Wolf. 3 wide out to the left. 1 goes in motion even further towards that Ball State sideline. A man in the backfield with him as well as Buckley. Wolf takes the snap, looks up the middle, fires, it's caught by his tight end Bosma, who fights for a couple of extra yards up to the 50-yard line. They're going to give him the first down. What a play by Blake Bosma.
And that's kind of the tricky part about tight ends. That's why they're one of the more difficult positions to cover, because if you line a linebacker up on him, he's not going to be able to handle the route running. If you line a nickel back up on him like George Udo, he doesn't have the size to bring down a guy like Blake Bosma, who's 6'3", 230 pounds. That's really clever play design there, and Bosma's able to fight for those extra yards. He's had a good day.
1st and 10 from the 50 even. Wolf play action, rolling right, fires over the middle. That pass is caught by Sambucci past the 40-yard line. He tries to get outside the numbers, but is dragged down. Jordan Coleman meets him there and takes him down. The chains move yet again. Another 1st and 10 now into Ball State territory is Western Michigan at the Ball State 38-yard line with 5 minutes to play in the 3rd. Ball State still leads 35-28.
Hayden Wolf, 17 for 20 on the day through the air. He has had a really solid day. That's an 85% completion percentage.
Abdus Salam in the backfield with Wolf out of the gun, a wide receiver out to the right. And the handoff goes to Abdus Salam. Takes it, tries to fight his way through contact, and he'll be taken down right in the line of scrimmage towards the left hash mark. Nowhere to run, and now the clock ticks under 4.5 to play here in quarter number 3. Still at the Ball State 38-yard line is this Western Michigan offense, 2nd and 10.
The run defense has really turned on the Jets for Ball State. It's these outside little zones that they're being faced with right now. In the first half, the defense was not setting the edge at all. Now, anytime the running backs try to bounce outside, the D-ends are there.
Out of the shotgun, Wolf takes the snap, fires across the field to the left, and it's Sambucci who catches it at the 35-yard line. They'll mark him at the 34. A gain of 4, 3rd and 6, now with under 4 to play here in the third quarter.
Right on the edge of field goal range, too, here is Western Michigan, so they still have a chance to score some points if they don't pick up this first down.
2 wide receivers to the left for Wolf, out of the pistol with Buckley right behind him. A wide receiver out to the right. Clapping the hands and taking the snap is Wolf. Hands it off for Buckley. Finds a big crease towards the right through that gap on the offensive line. Are they going to mark him short?
By about a yard.
Right at the 29-yard line, Riley Tolsma was the first one to get to him. 4th in a matter of inches here.
Doesn't that sound eerily similar to the end of the first half when Western Michigan couldn't convert on 4th and 1 on the goal line? This is redemption here to keep the drive going.
And now a timeout called.
Ruling on the previous play, the ball carrier was short of the line to gain. That play is under further review.
It's a booth review, excuse me. We'll take a look at it as the folks in the booth next to us in the replay box will see if Buckley was able to get the yard to gain. It would be 4th and 1 with 2:53 left in the third quarter should Western Michigan not get the first down.
It was not the most generous spot, Dom, if I'm being honest. It did seem like the ball carrier fell forward toward right about that line to gain, but it's not necessarily where the body is, it's where the ball is when it comes to those couple of inches trying to pick up the first down. I don't know. It's tough to change the ruling of the spot on the field unless there's an egregious error. This is a tall order for the officials.
Take a look at the numbers through this one so far. Ball State, 237 receiving yards compared to WMU's 206. But the rushing attack for the Broncos much more lethal than the Cardinals this afternoon. 147 yards on the ground compared to 58 for Ball State.
Well, there you go, Don. We got our ruling. Ruling on the field stands. It's going to be 4th down and 1. I figured that was the route they were going to go just because of how difficult it is to change the spot of the football. But nonetheless, Western Michigan's going to keep that offense out there.
This Bronco offense trying to keep the drive alive. 4th and 1 from the Ball State 29. Wolf out of the gun. Shifts his tight ends over from left to right. A man in the backfield with them is Nixon. And Wolf takes the snap, hands it off to Nixon, right up the gut. An easy first down, a gain of a couple yards. And Western Michigan's offense will stay on the field.
And that's exactly what they needed to do. Give the ball to the hot hand in Jaden Nixon. He's got 87 yards on the ground before that run. He's had such a great week the past 2 weeks of over 100 yards rushing.
Holy cow, the entire offensive line except for 2 guys shift over towards the far sideline towards Western Michigan's end. Out of the shotgun is Wolf. It's a screen pass over to Womack. Nowhere to run. Brayden Berger meets him right there at the 35. I don't know what that play design was, but it surely didn't work out.
Dom, that reminds me of a lot of the Colts a couple of years ago in 2015 where they did that 4th down trick play that went horribly wrong. You move everybody over but the long snapper, and the defense reads it completely. That was the same thing. Offensive line shifted all the way over to the right. The defense had no trouble with it. Obviously, it puts you on your heels a little bit, but well read, well handled by the defense. That's a huge loss for WMU.
Interesting play call from first-year offensive coordinator Walt Bell. Out of the shotgun, 2nd and 18 with under a minute and a half to play. From the Ball State 35 is Wolf. A lot of time. Rockets one up the middle of the field. That pass is caught by Womack. A good gain to get within 5 yards. A 13-yard pickup for Womack, who's now up to over 40 yards on the play today. And we've got a Ball State injury on the field, trying to get a number on the player down.
I think it's D.D. Snyder, Dom, who delivered that hit. He came in there with some violence.
Yeah.
He delivered that hit, kind of upended Womack, got up to his feet, and then decided to take it back down to the ground.
Timeout on the field.
So we'll take a break. Hopefully D.D. is okay. 3rd and 5 for Western Michigan now at the Ball State 22 with 1:07 when we come back. Ball State leads 35-28, taking its first lead of the entire game today during this fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere. It's Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
From trivia night at Brothers and Tater Tots at Roots.
Never miss a Ball State game with SportsLink Digital.
Hey, this is Ethan Crow, fifth-year center for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Back here from Schumann Stadium in Muncie, Indiana, where we've got a good one brewing here between the Broncos and the Cardinals. It'll be 3rd and 5 for Western Michigan, right inside of Ball State territory from the Cardinals' 22-yard line. 1:07 remaining here in quarter number 3. 35-28 Ball State. Thanks for joining us on this absolutely delightful Saturday afternoon for family weekend festivities. Dominick, Liacone, Sam Neiger, Ryan Stojetz down on the sidelines, and our producer up here is Brayden Carroll. Ball State has now scored 69 points in its first 2 Mid-American Conference games this season, with 35 so far today, 34 at CMU a couple of weeks back. That's the most Ball State points through the opening of 2 games of MAC play in a couple of years. But the most ever in the first 2 games came back in 2005 when the Cardinals scored 91 points in the first 2 games of MACtion.
Wow, back in the early 2000 glory days of Ball State football. How about that?
3rd and 5 for Wolf out of the pistol. 3 wide receivers out left, takes the snap. It's a screen for Sambucci, who makes the catch and then is wrapped up and taken down by Joey Stemler. Just past the 25-yard line. Stemler pumps his fist into light. 4th and 5, no gain for Western Michigan, and here comes the field goal unit.
That is such a great read from Stemler. He comes in from that middle linebacker position. He read the screen all the way. Then he had to explode over there to get to Sambucci, who's been so slippery all game, and that was just textbook tackling from Stemler. That's the kind of tackling that Ball State needs. That's what they haven't had over the past couple of games.
This will be a 38-yarder for Luka Zurak. And the kick is up and good. Zurak was 3 for 4 coming into the ball game on field goal attempts. He's now 4 for 5 and makes his first field goal between the 30 and 39-yard distance. So 21 seconds remaining here in quarter number 3. Ball State's lead now cut down to 4. It's 35-31. So Western Michigan, if it wants to take the lead anytime soon, assuming the defense can get a stop, will still need a touchdown.
Well, that's the name of the game in action. And Dom, not necessarily 7 points separating two teams. How about 4 points or 3 points separating two teams heading into the fourth quarter? Doesn't get much better than that. It feels like action all over again, and you just got to love it. We are, on pace for possibly one of the most fun 15 minutes of football you'll see across your MAC timelines this week.
21 seconds left here in the third quarter. Ball State 35, Western Michigan 31. After making the 38-yarder, Zurak is on to boot it away on the kickoff. Western Michigan will kick it from right to left. Gillia waits at the goal line. Nick Munson also back there as well. It's another high kick towards Munson. Just below the 10-yard line, now takes it out to the 15, breaks one tackle past the 20. Outside the left hash mark, still on his feet trying to motor his way to the 25. Cannot get there at around the 22-yard line. 13 seconds now remain here in the third quarter. Ball State will set up shop from its own 24.
Maybe expect a run here, Dom. Just get to the fourth quarter. Give Sloan one more go, see if he can't hammer out a couple of yards, and then just take what you can into the final 15 minutes of action.
Beautiful day here from Muncie, 79 degrees. We were expecting it to be in the low 70s, maybe even the high 60s, but the sun has certainly shined. Out of the gun, it's Samanza handing it off to Sloan, who bounces off a one body for a gain of about 4 yards. Ball State will just let this clock eat away, and we will go to the fourth quarter. Ball State leads by 4.
That's the end.
35-31.
On the field.
Ball State 15 minutes away from earning its first win in MACtion this year and trying to prevent Western Michigan from coming on its own home turf and stealing the fun on family weekend. 15 more minutes of action here from Muncie. Don't go anywhere. We've got a good one brewing and a heck of a finish coming up. It's Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesweets.hamptoninn.com. At munciesweets.hamptoninn.com.
SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Your home for live Ball State sports.
What up, Cardinals fans? This is Kyle Kelly, redshirt junior cornerback for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
15 minutes to play here from Muncie. It'll be 2nd and 6 for this Ball State offense at their own 28-yard line to start quarter number 4. Ball State leads by 4, 35-31 over Western Michigan. A heck of a family weekend matchup we have for the Cardinals, and Ball State and Western Michigan have just ping-ponged back and forth all afternoon long. Western Michigan took a quick 14-0 lead in the first quarter. Ball State said no, 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 came back to tie it. We ended the first half, knotted up at 21 apiece. Now here we are with Ball State leading by 4 and just 15 minutes away from earning its first win in Mid-American Conference play. Both of these teams came in 1-3. Ball State did drop the MAC opener in Mount Pleasant, a heartbreaker against Central Michigan, thanks to a last-minute score by CMU. Again, we mentioned it so much throughout this broadcast, but a huge difference between 1-4 and 2-3, Sam.
It really is, Dom. We touched on it as well. You got to go 5-3 at the very worst to make a bowl game, right? That does not give you a lot of leeway. If you're Ball State, you still got a Power 5 opponent in 2 weeks in Vanderbilt on the road, so you got to take care of business against MAC opponents, but neither of these squads has an FBS win. Both of these teams wins. For Ball State, it's Missouri State. For Western Michigan, it's Bethune-Cookman, so neither of these squads have taken on and defeated an FBS squad. This would be a huge boost in their confidence. And Ball State's going up against a Kent State team next week that looks like, all due respect, one of the bottom-rung teams in the country. So if they can get a win today, they'll have a lot of momentum on the road next week as well. This is huge for the Cardinals to maybe even turn the tide on the season.
Both teams back onto the field. Again, 2nd and 6 for Caden Samanza in his offense. He's at his own 28-yard line. And here we go for the first play of quarter number 4. A couple of wide receivers to Samanza's right. The man in the backfield on his left hip is Sloan. Samanza claps the hands, takes the snap, and hands it off to Sloan, who bounces out to the right, outside the hash to the 30-yard line. A gain of about 6 yards. Ball State just trying to chip away right now, keep the chains moving, and that's a good start on a nice 6-yard gain for Brayden Sloan. We mentioned he was already past 100 all-purpose yards. Now over 60 rushing yards today.
Yeah, it's been a big day for him. Really going to be happy with his performance. This is by far his best performance in the Cardinal and white. He looks like the running back that he was at Eastern Kentucky those past couple of seasons, the FCS All-American.
3rd and 4, Samanza looking left, now looks right. The ball is tipped up in the air. Is it intercepted? Yes, it is. That ball was deflected, batted down near the Western Michigan sideline. And it was Donald Willis who came up with the football on the tip pass. And now all of a sudden, Western Michigan has tremendous field position well into Ball State territory. It'll be 1st and 10 from the BSU 32-yard line for Hayden Wolf and company.
Dom, if this ain't action, I don't know what is. I mean, second play of the 4th quarter. Ball State has all the momentum really since the first. Great play at the line to tip it up, and now Western Michigan has a little jolt, a little juice left in the tank. We'll see if they can regain the lead.
1st and 10 for Wolf from the Ball State 32-yard line. Takes the snap out of the gun, hands it off to Nixon. Tries to find a seam up the middle. Now outside the left hash mark before he's wrapped up and taken down. Joey Stemler and a couple of the other linebackers who look like Riley Tolsma, the defensive end, also there to meet Nixon. A gain of 2, 2nd and 8 as the clock trickles now down under 14 minutes to play in this one. 2nd and 8 from the Cardinal 30. Wolf, a couple of wide receivers out to the left, sends one in motion to the right. Wolf looking downfield, low throw for Sambucci. He's got it.
Nice
just
grab.
In front of the sticks outside the numbers left, in front of the 20-yard line. They'll mark him at the 23.
Really nice catch from Sambucci on a low throw with the pocket collapsing there.
Hurry up offense. Wolf takes the snap, and now Nixon bounces outside left, outside the numbers to the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Broncos. What a play by Jaden Nixon. Found some space outside and said, thank you very much. I'll take it in for 6. Western Michigan has the lead again.
And just like that, it was the missed tackling in the backfield. This time for Ball State, it was Miles Norwood there on the edge, the cornerback who had to come out and try and make a shoestring tackle. Wasn't able to bring Nixon to the ground, and the lead belongs with the Broncos again, from bad to worse on that possession for the Cards.
Zurek for the extra point to make it a 3-point ball game. He's got it. We've mentioned it all season long. The tackling for this Ball State defense, incredibly gossamer, super thin, a lot of arm tackles, just haven't been able to bring guys to the ground. And when you let a running back like Jaden Nixon, who leads the entire Mid-American Conference in yards per carry, get outside like that, he's going to make you pay.
And he did on that one. It's not going to be the last time that we see him with the ball in his hands. Ball State's going to have to make some big tackles down the stretch, but it's on the offense now to answer. We'll see if the Cards can.
A 23-yard running touchdown for Jaden Nixon. A drive that lasts 3 plays for 32 yards and just under a minute. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll see if the Cardinals can respond. Western Michigan has the lead once again, 38-35 in favor of the Broncos. with just under 13:20 to play here in regulation. This is Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Ranked number 2 in the nation for sports media by the Broadcast Education Association.
This is Ball State SportsLink.
Hey, this is Ty Robinson, redshirt junior wide receiver for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
13:19 to play here in regulation from Schumann Stadium. 38-35, Broncos lead over the Cardinals. We've seen a big transition for the Mid-American Conference, going from divisions to now divisionless. For more on that, we send it down to the third member of our crew, Ryan Stojetz.
Hey, Dom, you mentioned it. As we head into the conference season, it's a good time to note that starting this season, the MAC has done away with divisions for football. Now the top 2 teams in the 12-team Mid-American Conference, based on conference winning percentage, will compete at the MAC championship game in Detroit at Ford Field. And the new model of scheduling that the Mid-American Conference has implemented allows for each team to face all 11 conference opponents home and away at least once during a 3-year cycle.
Yeah, great point there, Ryan. Thank you very much. These two teams last year are part of the MAC West division. Ball State finished 5th, Western Michigan 4th. Both teams had 3-5 records, but of course, Ball State could not get the tiebreaker over Western Michigan. Receiving the kick was Nick Munson. He got blown up just at the 20-yard line. That was Jacob Wahlberg, who blew Nick Munson to the ground. 1st and 10 now for Ball State at their own 23-yard line.
And Wahlberg, with as big as he is, all it takes is one left arm to bring Munson down. He'd almost clothesline him. That was an impressive showing, an impressive tackle on that special teams play.
Kyle Kelly into the game at quarterback. Out of the shotgun, a couple of wide receivers out to his right. Kelly is just going to run it himself, trying to pirouette around his man at the 25. He'll pick up a couple of yards before being brought down. Sam, we've mentioned it so many times, but when you bring in a package for Kyle Kelly, a lot of the time teams are going to know it's going to be a run to Kyle.
To a certain degree, Dom, I just have to keep asking myself why. Why is that the play call? Why is Kyle Kelly lining up at the quarterback position? You know he's not going to throw. You know he's going to run. He's much better threat when he's out wide, or if he is lined up in a running back position. He's just not going to do anything that Brayden Sloan isn't going to be able to do with the ball in his hands. I don't understand it.
12.5 to play. Samanza out of the shotgun. 2nd and 8. Pocket collapses. He steps up and runs, barreling his way forward. Flags fly in the backfield, and Sam, you said holding. The question is who's it going to be on?
I think Ball State, as the Cardinals are backing up, but
let's see if we can get a number here.
Holding. Offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. 2nd down.
John Mucciolo, a graduate out of Mahopac, New York, and the transfer from Sacred Heart, 2024 preseason All-MAC selection, gets tabbed with a holding penalty. So
another FCS guy.
Right.
Yep.
A loss of 10, 2nd and 18. Now Ball State at its own 15. Here in quarter number 4, 12:20 left on the clock. Ball State trails by 3, needing at least a field goal to tie it up here. 2 wide receivers out to the left for Samanza, 1 to the right. Sloan in the backfield with him on his right hip. Samanza claps the hands, takes the snap out of the gun, hands it off to Sloan. Trying to find a seam up the middle, but he's blasted at the line of scrimmage. And getting there to him first was Donald Willis, the outside linebacker who came in on the blitz. So now with under 12 to play, the Cardinals cannot gain anything. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. They'll actually give Sloan about 3 yards, but it's still 3rd and 15 as we're under 12 minutes to play in the fourth.
Yeah, I don't like that play call either, Dom. I don't want to be too critical of Jared Elliott in this offense, but there's no reason to be running the football when you're back so far up on a 2nd and 18. Now you got 3rd and forever, and you're down by 3 in the fourth quarter. I don't like it.
3rd and 15 from his own 18. Samanza surveying the field, taking a deep shot down the left side, way out of the reach of Ty Robinson. That pass goes into the Ball State sideline. It's a quick 3 and out. Ball State will have to send out the punting unit, and here comes Brian Cooey Jr. just for the 2nd time today, which is a welcome sign compared to the 10 times we saw him punt against Miami. But you expect that in a MAC game like this. And now Ball State starting to run out of time here with 11 and a half to go.
I think there's still plenty of football left, but that's going to be one that the Cardinals are going to regret tomorrow. They're going to look at that they're going to look at that film and be like, "What the heck were we doing?" Uncharacteristic compared to what we've seen today.
High kick right at the 45-yard line. Flag is thrown as the fair catch was called by Sambucci right at his own 45, but we'll see what the laundry on the field is for.
Legal block in the back is my guess. I think this is going to go against the Broncos. They're going to back him even farther up.
During the kick, holding, number 31.
Yeah, same genre.
10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
It's Carlos Mitchell Jr., the cornerback usually out of Lake Wales, Florida, the freshman, true freshman. It'll take us into another media timeout. So Western Michigan will have the football at their own 35. That penalty backs them up 10 yards from where the fair catch was. We'll see Hayden Wolf and his offense come out trying to extend this lead even more for Western Michigan. 11:15 to play in regulation. Ball State trails Western Michigan 38-35. It's Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project, and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
Indiana's top sports media school in 2024 by the Indiana Association of School Broadcasters.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
Hey, this is Tanner Koziel, junior tight end here with Ball State Football. Thanks for tuning in to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. This is your home for all things Ball State football.
All right, so Ball State's defense going to have to come up big here with 11:15 left in quarter number 4. Cardinals trailing the Broncos 38-35. Western Michigan at its own 35, 1st and 10 for the offense after the holding penalty on the punt. That ball was originally taken in at the 45, but the 10 yards backed him up to the 35. Wolf is out of the pistol, a couple of wide receivers either way. Nixon in the backfield behind him. Wolf claps the hands, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, play action. Wolf taking a deep shot at Sambucci, wide open at the 45, outside the numbers right. Tries to barrel his way forward, pushed out of bounds by Keontae Newsome at the 42-yard line. What a play call there from the offensive coordinator for Western and Walt Bell, and what a strike from Hayden Wolf.
Yeah, and that play starts in the trenches. That's a play that takes some time to develop. Sambucci was the only guy off to the left. He had to run a deep fade and then cut back across over the middle, and the play had enough time to develop. That was well executed.
Out of the shotgun, Wolf takes the snap, hands it off to Nixon, trying to bounce outside. He's past the hash marks left. A gain of about 3 yards for Jaden Nixon. It'll be 2nd and 8, on Ball State's 41-yard line, as we're now just over 10.5 to play in the fourth quarter.
It is starting to feel like crunch time, Dom. This is an important drive for the Ball State defense. You cannot give the offense the ball back, down 2 scores inside 10 minutes to play. It doesn't bode well for you.
Abdus Salam is behind Wolf out of the pistol. 2nd and 8, the pitch goes to him. And there goes Abdus Salam to the 40 before he's wrapped up at the legs outside the numbers left, just in front of the Western Michigan sideline. Keontae Newsome, the first one to greet him there. Brandon Berger also on the case as well. Now under 10 minutes to play, just a gain of 2 for Western Michigan. 3rd and 6 from the Ball State 39.
Don't be surprised if this isn't 4th down territory, too, for Western Michigan. They're kind of in that no man's land we talked about earlier, well into Ball State territory, but not yet in field goal range.
Out of the shotgun, Hayden Wolf sends a man in motion from right to left. 2 wide receivers out that way. Looking over the middle, pass is caught by Womack at the 30. Breaks 1 tackle, gets by a man up to the 20. Outside the hash marks left before he's wrapped up and taken down. Miles Norwood was able to get a piece of Womack, but Kenny able to pick up a huge gain, and now Western Michigan knocking on the doorstep of the red zone. 1st and 10 from the Ball State 21. 9:05 to play here in the fourth quarter.
This defense looks a little tired. The tackling not what it was just a couple of minutes ago.
Out of the shotgun as Wolf claps the hands, takes the snap. Lot of time, fires downfield, just out of the reach of Anthony Sambucci, who is irate that there wasn't a flag called, and now there finally is a flag thrown, but it was towards midfield.
Wow. They're going to call, that's not, that's the line judge. That's not his decision to make, in my opinion, Dom. There is a back judge there for a reason.
Pass, holding, defense, number 9. 10-yard penalty to the previous spot, automatic, 1st down.
Wow.
Interesting. That's on Keontae Newsome.
I think the booze a little bit warranted circulating around Schumann Stadium. Interesting. Now into the red zone.
1st and 10 from the Ball State 11. 3 wide receivers out right. The tight end Bosma comes in motion from right to left. Wolf claps the hands, takes the snap out of the shotgun. 1st and 10, fires it to Bosma past the 10-yard line outside the numbers left, but he's blown up by Miles Norwood, and I believe D.D. Snyder was also there to finish the job.
Yeah, good to see Snyder back in the game. He got that ankle tweaked just a little bit towards the end of the third quarter, but he's back out there now and feeling comfortable. It seems if he's delivering hits like that, I bet he's comfortable.
2nd and 5, now under 8.5 to play here in the fourth quarter. Western Michigan 38, Ball State 35. The Broncos would love another touchdown here to crank the lead up. The handoff goes to Buckley, finds a seam up the right side, barrels forward. He is just short of the goal line inside the right hash mark. They mark him right at around the half-yard line. This is all too familiar for Western Michigan now.
Yeah.
Close to this goal line, unable to capitalize on 2 consecutive plays earlier in the ball game in this territory.
Ruling on the previous play was the ball carrier was in advance of the line to gain when he was down, but short of the goal line. That play is under further review.
Not surprised that they're taking a look at this, Dom. He had the ball in his left hand, did Buckley, and then he was upended, did kind of a spin in midair. His body ended up over the goal line. So his body was in the end zone. I just don't think his left arm had crossed that line, but that's what the officials are going to take a look at and see.
7:53 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Right at the 1-yard line. They're going to take a look at this and see if he got in. If this is a touchdown, Western Michigan would take a 44-35 lead.
You know, even if he didn't get into the, or even if he did get, or excuse me, even if he did not get into the end zone here, Dom, that was enough for a 1st down. So now it's 1st and goal from the half-yard line, and Western Michigan has 4 chances to get it over into the end zone rather than the 2 that they had last time they were in this position. So I think regardless, Western Michigan has to be thinking they're going to get 6 on this play. So Ball State has got to start thinking about how to churn the offense out quickly, get a quick score.
Hayden Wolf has been all too impressive in this one. The second-year transfer out of Old Dominion at the quarterback position for Western Michigan.
The ruling on the field stands. It'll be Western Michigan, first and goal, inside the 1-yard line.
Okay, so you got the ruling there. But Hayden Wolf today, 25 for 28 for 263 yards, a QB rating of 191, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, impressive. And, you know, it's on us for not having mentioned him more. He has just been steady Eddie all day. And really, it hasn't been anything flashy necessarily, but he's got 2 touchdowns through the air. He's a really great leader for this Western team. He's going to do well in MAC play.
Under 8 minutes to play. Rolling out after taking the snap is Wolf. He's going to fire towards the corner of the end zone. Caught by Sam Bucci. Back right pylon. Touchdown, Western Michigan. I think Wolf could have just walked it in himself if he wanted to as well.
The ruling on the field was a completed pass for a touchdown.
All right.
44-35. The Broncos looking to take a 10-point lead over the Cardinals.
Again, just letting the play develop. Let's give credit to the offensive line for Western Michigan on that drive, because at the end of the first half, they were getting after each other. They were upset. They were giving up sacks. They were not allowing Wolf as much time to throw the football. On this possession, the pass coverage, the pass protection was there. They gave Wolf all day to throw, and it turns into 6 on the other end. Really a slow, methodic, well-developed drive from Western Michigan.
Zurak has been perfect on PATs, and he drills this one through here to make it 45-35. All right, it's crunch time here for the Cardinals. Still 7:43 remaining in this ball game, but it's do or die at this point, needing a quick score here, then trying to get the ball back somehow. You need at least a touchdown and a field goal, assuming that your defense can stand tall. 7:43 remaining here in quarter number 4. Ball State now trails Western Michigan 45-35 here from Muncie, Indiana. We'll take another timeout when we come back. The conclusion of this one, don't go anywhere. This is Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts, right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
Hey, this is Keontae Newsom, senior linebacker with Ball State football. Thanks for tuning in to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. This is your home for all things Ball State sports.
7:43 left here in this one. Ball State trailing Western Michigan 45-35 inside Schumann Stadium. Thanks for joining us for this family weekend contest here from Muncie, Indiana. Dominick Liacone, Sam Neiger, Ryan Stojetz patrolling the sidelines, Brayden Carroll doing the hosting and producing. Western Michigan kicks off from left to right, a short kick and a fair catch called by Nick Munson at around the 19-yard line of Ball State. So the Cardinals will start from their own 25, trailing by 10 and needing a big drive here to try and get some momentum back, Sam.
Yeah, what do you got, Caden Samanza? I mean, we saw him towards the end of the first half. He really struggled. He wasn't necessarily going through his progressions with as much fluidity, but we saw him be really great in the final few minutes against Central Michigan 2 weeks ago. Kind of a similar situation. They need a little bit more from him this week, but he's going to need a big drive here to start things off.
1st and 10 from his own 25. Samanza claps the hands, takes a snap, fires up the middle. He's got his tight end, Koziel. It's caught at the 34 before barreling his way up to the 35. Tanner Koziel has a gain that is just short of the sticks. 2nd and 1. The clock continues to run under 7.5. Samanza quickly out of the gun, fires up the middle. He's got his tight end, Koziel, again, right at the right hash mark. He gets the line to gain. 1st down, Ball State.
That's stellar. I loved what I've seen so far. Samanza looking to his top target. Yes, he's got guys like Robinson. He's got guys like Magwood out there, but he's going to the hot hand in Koziel.
Samanza takes the snap out of the gun. 1st and 10 from his own 34. The handoff goes to Sloan, who tries to find a gap in between the offensive linemen on the left side. Able to barrel forward and gain about 5. They'll actually give him 6. So 2nd and 4. Samanza quickly working his progressions. Fires towards the left, and it's caught by Ty Robinson past the 50-yard line, just inside the numbers towards that Western Michigan sideline. Another Ball State 1st down. The clock continues to run to 6.5 left here in regulation, but the Cardinals continue to progress down the field. Samanza out of the gun, 2 wide receivers either way. A man in the backfield. The snap is fumbled, and Samanza just has to fall on it right in front of the 50-yard line. That is not what you want if you're head coach Mike Neal.
And I was just about to praise Ball State for the way that this offense has operated on this drive. There's no need. There's no need for any kind of huddle. The plays are being communicated over the overhead comm to the helmet of Caden Samanza. He's directing traffic, telling his receivers what needs to be done, but bad play there.
2nd and 13. Samanza strike up the middle. It's picked off. Right at the 35-yard line, Aaron Woodford, the free safety and junior out of Chicago, Illinois, picks off Caden Samanza. The 2nd interception that Samanza has thrown today. It'll be 1st and 10. They'll mark that ball at the 28-yard line, actually. And with just under 6 to play, Western Michigan can start to feel it.
Yeah, he was just looking for Magwood that time over on the far side. It was just a simple slant across the middle. Magwood got caught up in traffic. Samanza felt the pocket start to collapse, and he just let the ball fly out too early. That was kind of reminiscent of what we saw last week. That's, I mean, those things happen, but definitely something you want to limit in the 4th quarter.
1st and 10 from their own 28 are the Broncos. Out of the pistol as Wolf takes the snap, hands it off to Nixon, trying to find some real estate on the left side outside the hash marks towards the 30. Wrapped up about a yard in front of the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 9. Broncos still leading the Cardinals 45-35. And now if you're Western, you're just trying to run clock. And with this 3-headed monster you have in the backfield, I say, Sam, just keep it on the ground unless you know a passing play is going to work and you can find your man in either Sambucci or even Womack. But just stay in bounds and let this clock continue to eat away at itself.
Yeah, let these running backs just churn the legs, let them earn some tough yards, keep that clock running. Ball State still has 3 timeouts, though, so you got to keep it on the ground, keep it moving.
Wolf again out of the pistol, 2nd and 9, hands it off to Nixon. Cuts to the left, now back up to the right. Outside the hash marks. That's a big gain towards the line to get. Did he get there is the question. I think they're going to mark him just short, about a yard short that is. So it's 3rd and 1. Now with under 5 to play.
And that's the kind of thing you can't afford if you're the Ball State defense, right? You've had better tackling in this 2nd half, but then you give up a chunk play of 9 yards. It's 3rd and short. So there's a high chance that Western Michigan's going to be able to move the football, move the sticks, and then it resets the downs, and they get another shot at continuing to run this clock down.
3rd and 1, 4.5 to play here in the 4th quarter. Ball State trails by 10. Out of the shotgun is Wolf. He's got Buckley to his right hip. The line tightens up. Buckley gets the handoff out of the shotgun snap, barrels his way forward right into the teeth of the defense, and they'll say he picked up enough for a 1st down. The line swallowed him up. Kyron Montgomery, the transfer from Mizzou, got a hand on him, but It doesn't matter as Western continues to move the chains. Now under 4 to play here in the fourth. 1st and 10 from their own 39 are the Broncos.
And we've seen 194 rush yards as a team for Western Michigan. We kind of said this pregame, Dom. The team that runs the football better is the team that's probably going to come away with the win. 194 rush yards for Western to just 75 for Ball State.
Play clock at 5. Wolf gets the snap out of the shotgun, and Buckley is blown up in the backfield. Riley Tolsma got to him first. The defensive end for Ball State, out of Hamilton, Michigan himself.
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Timeout Ball State. No gain at all for Buckley. Might have lost a half a yard, but they'll still stay 2nd and 10 with now 3:30 left on the game clock.
Yeah, and that's a smart call defensively for Ball State to call that timeout. You get a big play, a little bit of a loss. Really, the officials gave Western Michigan the forward progress, so it's 2nd and 10 still, but that's a big stop. At some point, you have to think Western Michigan's going to punt this ball back to Ball State, and then the offense has got to go in the 2-minute drill as fast as possible. Still, a lot of things have to go right for Ball State to put themselves in a position to win this game, but that timeout starts it. Now you got to bunker down on defense, get this stop.
2nd and 10 for the Broncos from their own 39-yard line. 3.5 to play in regulation. Ball State trailing by 10, 45-35 in favor of the Broncos. Ball State trying to avoid falling to 0-2 in MAC play for the 2nd straight season. Under center as Wolf sends a man in motion from left to right, hands it off to Nixon up the middle, bouncing out to the right side. He's swallowed up by the defense. It was Jack Beebe, one of the linebackers, to get to him first. Ball State uses its 2nd timeout of the half.
All right, here we go. One more stop, force the punt. You're not going to have any timeouts left, but if you look up at the clock right now with 3:24 to play, you still got that 2-minute timeout. So assuming Ball State's able to make this stop here, you're going to get the ball with, at the very least, probably 3 minutes left. You've got that one built-in timeout. We saw how the offense was clicking before the pick from Samanza. So there's still a little bit of life left for Ball State.
If they have to get a stop here.
You absolutely have to, but I also just don't think Western Michigan is going to risk throwing the football. So as long as, Ball State's defense doesn't fall asleep for a play and they're able to actually make a tackle against one of these running backs, which it looks like it's going to be Abdul Salam who's going to be the back. As long as they're able to bring him down, they're going to give themselves a chance here after the timeout.
3:24 left in this one. 3rd and 8 for the Broncos from their own 41. Western Michigan leads by 10. Wolf out of the shotgun, takes a snap, hands it off to Abdul Salam, trying to find some space up the middle, bounces off of a couple tackles, and he'll get a couple yards just past the 45-yard line. Another timeout for Ball State, the 3rd and final timeout.
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
It's 4th down, a big stop. Ball State should get the football back here.
Yeah, no reason for Western Michigan to run a 4th down play here in their own territory. Now, if you're Ryan Milmore, the punter for Western Michigan, you want to put this ball inside the 20, and you want to keep it in play. You want as much time to roll off the clock as possible. Ball State does not want to return here. They do not want to let any other seconds drip off this clock at this point, but now you're probably going to have a full field ahead of you if you're Caden Samanza, and you just have to let the interception from the last possession go. You made a mistake. Now you've got to be firing on all cylinders. You've got to be better now than you have been really all game.
3:19 to go in this one. 4th and 4 for the Broncos. The punting unit comes out. So as you mentioned, Sam, here comes Ryan Milmore. Just the 2nd time we've seen him on the field today. Sent one inside the 20 last time. He's got a long of 53 on the year, averaging just over 42 yards a punt. Keon Magwood back at his own 15. The boots away from Milmore. Magwood will let it roll. It takes a Ball State hop right at the 20. Then a Western Michigan hop past the 20. It continues to waddle forward towards the 15 of Ball State. So with 3:06 left on the clock, Ball State will get the football back. 1st and 10 from their own 15-yard line.
And that's not at all the field position the Cardinals were hoping for. If Magwood would have just stepped forward and called a fair catch, they'd be 3 or 4 yards further up the field, which doesn't say a lot, but you'd be about 16 seconds richer than you are right now, which can be the difference between a touchdown or not for Ball State in this offense.
So Samanza trying to engineer a quick drive downfield. 3:06 left, Ball State down by 10. 3 wide receivers out to the right for Samanza. Takes the snap out of the shotgun, dumps one off up the middle, and it's caught by Brayden Sloan, the running back, a gain of 9. The clock continues to move. It's actually caught by, no, excuse me, they said it was caught by Carson New, but it wasn't. It was Sloan. Samanza, 2nd and 1, has to throw it into no man's land up the middle, and luckily that ball hits the turf. That could have been awfully dangerous.
Yeah, that was a scary play there for Samanza. He had to throw that right over the head of the offensive line. Not necessarily sure where the where the linebackers would be for Western Michigan. Credit Isaiah Green on the QB hurry there to force Samanza to get rid of it. But now you got a 3rd down and 1. You got to convert.
2:42 left on the clock. It's 3rd and 1. Samanza and company from their own 24.
Grounding.
Oh, wow.
Offense.
Oh,
3.
wow.
Lost it down at the spot of the foul. Be 3rd down.
Okay, interesting. So it is intentional grounding. Yeah, I thought
10-yard penalty and loss of down.
Spot is right here.
I thought that ball, at first when I saw it thrown, I was like, there's nobody there.
Unreal.
Just unlucky for Ball State. And
that's been the name of today.
If that play doesn't describe these last 7 minutes of Ball State football right now, I don't know what does.
So it's about a 9-yard penalty. So now we're faced with a 3rd and 10 rather than a 3rd and 1.
2:42 on the clock. Samanza out of the shotgun, claps the hands, takes the snap, looking for a deep shot downfield into coverage and off the hands of Tanner Koziel, just outside the left hash mark at the 25-yard line. Incomplete. Now you have to go for it here on 4th down. This is the ball game right here.
It is. Great coverage by Tate Halleck to bat that away from Koziel. He's got strong hands. He doesn't drop a lot of those. But you said it, Dom. Comes down to this. We haven't even gotten to that 2-minute timeout that we talked about. And ball game sits right here on a 4th and 10.
4th and 10. Ball State at its own 15. Samanza out of the gun. Wide receivers all over the place. Samanza takes the snap. Is going to take a deep shot downfield for Cam Pickett. Flag is thrown on the coverage. That ball was way out of the reach of Pickett. But a ton of contact from the cornerback.
Pass interference. Defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic.
Deshaun Bussell, the 7th year now Bronco out of Knoxville, Tennessee, gets called for defensive PI. Up to the 30-yard line are the Cardinals. 1st and 10, a new set of downs. Ball State catches a break.
Yeah, luckiest one they've got.
Samanza out of the gun, takes the snap. Flag is thrown. Samanza has to dish it off in dangerous territory up the middle. It's caught by Davis, but a flag on the play towards the near side sideline, just at the 35-yard line. Let's see what the officials rule here.
I thought the defense jumped early and it was a free play, Dom. So they're talking to Mike New.
Defense, number 2. 5-yard penalty for the previous spot, still 1st down.
So they were just trying to decide whether New wanted to decline it or accept it. It was a 4-yard completion, but the 5-yard penalty gives them an extra yard, so it makes sense.
It goes on Popeye Williams, the kid from around here in Westfield, Indiana. Samanza out of the gun, takes the snap up the middle for Koziel, a tight window. It's caught right at the 50.
Wow.
Right at the center of that Dancing Charlie logo. Big pickup for Caden Samanza. A 15-yard pass. They'll mark him at the Western Michigan 49, and quickly back to work as Samanza out of the gun. 2-minute drill here, a lot of time. Up the middle, it is caught by Daya Patel past the 35, outside the left hash. He's up to around the 32-yard line. Another flag on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be a defensive holding. I think they're going to tack onto this. At least that's what the field judge.
Holding. Defense, number 0.
Yeah.
Another one on Deshaun Bussell.
Wow. Play is a 1st down.
Bussell hasn't contributed anything to the stat sheet all year, doesn't even have a pass breakup, but already he's got 2 penalties to his name on this drive. Not what this Western Michigan coaching staff is looking for.
Saman's out of the gun, looking up the middle. He's got Keon Magwood for a gain of about 4 before he's pushed back by the Western Michigan secondary.
This is the 2-minute timeout. Timeout on the field.
With 1:58, the 2-minute timeout is called. So Ball State threatening in Western Michigan territory right now, in desperate need of a touchdown or at least a field goal. It'll be 2nd and 5 with just under 2 minutes when we come back. Ball State trailing Western Michigan 45-35. It's Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Your home for live Ball State sports.
Hey, this is Caden Simonza, redshirt freshman quarterback for Ball State football. You're listening to SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
All right, do or die time here for Ball State. With 1:58 left in this ball game, we've reached the 2-minute timeout. Cardinals trail by 10. 45-35, Western Michigan. It's 2nd and 5, however, for Ball State's offense from the Western 27-yard line. Sam, I don't think you can take anything less than a touchdown here. Obviously, if you can take a field goal because you're down by 10, that works in favor if you're trying for the onside the next play, because it doesn't really matter. But still, I think if you want confidence heading into the very, very back end of this ball game, you have to score here.
Yeah, 3 points, it keeps you in it. It makes it a one-score game, but you got to think about it this way, Dom. If you score a touchdown here and then you convert an onside kick, all you need to do is move the ball into field goal range to kick that field goal to send it to overtime. If you kick a field goal here, yes, it's a one-score game, but then if you get the onside kick, you have to march all the way down the field into the end zone. You absolutely have to have 6 here if you're Ball State. At the last resort, you take 3, but do what you can to put yourself in a position to win this game here by scoring a touchdown on this drive.
2nd and 5 for Simonza, who's out of the gun here at the Western Michigan 27-yard line. 2 men in the backfield with them. Now Magwood motions out to the left. Simonza claps the hands, takes the snap, looks left. A lot of time towards the end zone for Koziel. A one-handed reach. It's out of his reach, just in front of that left pylon. Incomplete pass. 3rd and 5 here with 1:53 to go in quarter number 4, and Ball State still trails by 10.
I really want to give a lot of credit to Scott Power, the defensive coordinator for Western Michigan here. He recognized the mismatch on Tanner Koziel in that first half, and in the second half, it has been Tate Hollick who's lined up one-on-one. He's usually the free safety, but he has actually slid down into coverage to take on Koziel in this second half, and it's worked wonders. Koziel has not had the second half to match the first.
3rd and 5. Simonza out of the gun. 3 wide receivers out to the right. He'll fire it up the middle. That's Cam Pickett, who's got green grass, to the 10, to the 5. He finds Pater.
Wow.
Touchdown, Cardinals.
Wow.
Cam Pickett has his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Ball State all of a sudden just trails by 4. An extra point away from bringing this within a field goal.
I don't know about you, Dom, but that didn't even feel real. I mean, that was too easy for the Cardinals. It was a nice bit of route running from Cam Pickett, a well-designed play. All he had to do was shake off a couple of tacklers. He had some green grass in front of him, and why not take it to the house? Gave themselves a lot of breathing room here with 1:47 to go. The question is, can you convert on the onside kick? That's going to be the big question mark for Ball State to answer.
Here on the PAT is Jackson Corville. Snap is good, hold is good, the kick is true. And the sophomore from Dayton makes it a 3-point game. Now the Cardinals have to convert on this onside kick, and this is going to be an interesting question.
Yeah.
Do you bring out Carson Holmer, who's been doing the kickoff kicking all afternoon long, or do you say, you know what, Jackson, go out there and give us an onside?
That's a question that I don't feel confident answering, Tom. I think we're just going to have to see who goes out there because, you talk about the injury to Jackson Corville. Yes, Carson Homer's been taking the kickoffs. Yes, an onside kick is a lot less strain on the leg of Jackson Corville, but in my mind, whoever's been taking the reps of onside kicks in practice, that's who you send out there. You shouldn't change just because your guy is back in Jackson Corville. If he has not been taking the onside kick reps, don't send him out there. Send out Homer.
It is Carson Homer. Homer and the special team unit out there for an onside kick.
Wow.
Broncos 45, Cardinals 42, 1:47 on the game clock here in the fourth quarter. This is the ball game right here. Ball State has to recover this onside kick to keep their hopes alive.
Don't you just love an action? My goodness. Couldn't ask for a better finish than this.
Here we go. And now timeout called by Western Michigan. An interesting formation shown by the Cardinals with only 3 guys on that right side where Homer was lined up. And then a couple of other guys shifted left. And I'm sure that threw off the Western Michigan special teams game. And a timeout is called. The Broncos use their second timeout.
Right, it is legal to have that pre-snap movement on a kickoff like that, but it was an interesting formation for Ball State. Yes, Homer is lined up here on the left side closest to our press box, but the angle of his body, because he's a right-handed kick or a right-footed kicker, he's actually angled toward the far sideline. So I was a little surprised that we didn't see more guys lined up on his right side to recover this onside kick. Just trying to throw out any trickery as Ball State right now to keep Western Michigan on their toes.
I don't think we've gotten a finish like this since the 2020 MAC West Championship game in which Ball State won that wacky one 30-27 on one of the more unreal plays you'll ever see to end a college football game. All right, now we're ready to go again. Newsome, Koziel, and Abney, and now a couple more join on that right side. Here's the onside kick from Homer. It's high in the air and then recovered by Western Michigan. Anthony Sambucci was the first one there, and that should do it. All Western Michigan has to do is knee this one out. Victory formation coming for the Broncos and a heartbreaker for Ball State here on Family Weekend.
Yeah, Ball State's not going to be too fond of this game when all is said and done, assuming Western Michigan executes this victory formation as they should. Cardinals waited a while before they took their first lead in this game, but to give it away in the fashion that they did, it hurts. It hurts. This one's going to sting tomorrow.
Wolf takes the knee at the Ball State 47-yard line.
And we said it. We've been pushing it all game. 2-3 feels a lot better than 1-4. And give credit to Western Michigan. This is a gutsy win. They had to come back in the fourth quarter to get this done. They earned that 2-3 record that they're going to have next week and a chance to even it out at 3-3 next week against Akron. But for Ball State, falling to 1-4, you've got Kent State on the road. That's a very winnable game on the road against the Golden Flashes. But, man, they would have loved to have been 2-3 with a chance to be 3-3 heading into next week.
Another knee taken by Hayden Wolf. Just barely enough time on the clock for Western to kneel this one out. It'll be 3rd and 12 from the Ball State 45, but it doesn't matter because one more knee will do it. Western Michigan is going to improve to 2-3 and 1-0 in MAC play. This is the first time Western Michigan will start 1-0 in conference play in a couple of years. This is also their 3rd consecutive win against Ball State in as many seasons. One more knee here from Wolf as both teams and their sidelines come out. That'll do it as the head coaches meet right at that Dancing Charlie logo to shake hands. Western Michigan is going to walk away with a thrilling 45-42 victory over Ball State here this afternoon. The Broncos come into Muncie and spoil Family Weekend for the Cardinals.
This one's going to go down as a slow burn, Dom. This is not one that Ball State at the start of the fourth quarter thought they were going to let slip away from them. You hate to say it, but it was Ball State football. You know, you get into this pattern of not being able to close out games, and it starts to become the expectation. Credit to Western Michigan. You mentioned it. You know, first win, or first time since the P.J. Fleck era that they start the year 1-0 in conference play. It's a really solid Broncos team that can make a lot of noise in the Mid-American Conference. But as much as I hate to say this for Ball State, there's going to be some tough questions that are going to have to be answered as a result of this loss. You know, not just from a team perspective, but also from an administrative perspective. A lot of question marks, a lot of unhappiness in Muncie, and it's just a matter of whether or not it gets solved this year or down the road.
So Ball State will fall to 1-4 and 0-2 in Mid-American Conference play to start the 2024 season. Western Michigan up to 2-3 and 1-0 in MAC play. This is now just the fourth different time that Western has come onto Ball State turf and taken back-to-back contests against the Cardinals. Again, Western Michigan 1-0 for the first time in MACtion in a couple of years, and also the third consecutive victory against Ball State in as many years as well. Ball State will start 0-2 in MAC play for now back-to-back seasons, and this is loss number 60 in the head coaching career of Mike New.
A lot of stars on this Ball State team. You know, they've got the pieces to make it happen. They've got the pieces in place where they can win football games. It comes down to mentality at some point, I think, Dom. You know, this team does not know what it's like to win games late. This team does not know what it's like to gut out a gritty win in Mid-American Conference play, and that just comes with time. You know, it hurts to watch the visiting team stand over there arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, singing their own alma mater in front of their own band when you feel like it should be your team. It stings, it hurts. There's a lot of anger, a lot of frustration with this Ball State team, but still a lot of football left to play.
Next week, the Broncos return home to Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo for their first home conference game of the year. Broncos will take on the Akron Zips. That's on Saturday, October 12th. Kickoff set for 3:30 p.m. Central Time. As for Ball State, the Cardinals will travel to Kent, Ohio, as you mentioned, Sam, to take on the Kent State Golden Flashes for their third MAC matchup. That's also on the 12th of October, next Saturday. Kickoff is set for noon Eastern Time then. So Ball State now 1-1 on its own home field this year. Another heartbreaker, and where the Ball State Cardinals fall 3 points short of a Mid-American Conference victory. Sam, before we wrap up, I know you had a ton to say there, but just any other final thoughts before we get off the air here?
You know, you got to have a short-term memory, right? We heard from Mike New in the press conferences this week. You cannot lose belief. This is a team that really loves each other. This is a team that cares about each other. Obviously, every team in the country you can say that about, but this is a brotherhood that's got to band together. They're facing some of the toughest questions, some of the most adversity, both from in that locker room and here along Media Row. They're facing some of the biggest pressure they have over the past decade to perform. You've got to band together. You got to take what's yours next week against Kent State, and you can't give anything back because you don't really have an opportunity at this point to right the ship unless a lot of things go well. You just got to do what you can next week and hope for the best.
All right, that'll do it here from Muncie. Again, your final score, Western Michigan 45, Ball State 42. Another gut-wrenching defeat for Ball State football, and this one comes on its own home turf. Thanks so much for joining us all afternoon long here on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. We hope to potentially send a crew out to Kent, Ohio for the Cardinals when they take on the Golden Flashes next week on Saturday. Ball State, another heartbreaking loss. So, for Brayden, Carroll, Ryan Stojetz, and Sam Neiger, I'm Dominick Liacone saying so long from Schumann Stadium here in Muncie, Indiana. Cards lose by 3. Another gut-wrencher for this football program. Thanks for tuning in all afternoon long. This has been a presentation of Ball State football on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
This has been a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.